Statesboro, Georgia for Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN. It is a beautiful Saturday night, and Georgia Southern are ready for their home opener. The Eagles welcome in the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. The Eagles back home after 2 weeks on the road. Not the outcome that they wanted. A tough loss to Southern Cal in Los Angeles. Jacksonville State comes in getting their first win of the season, an early Conference USA win over Liberty. Welcome to Paulson Stadium. He's Jason Foster, Whitney Hayworth on sideline. I'm Danny Wall. With the Eagles back at home, there is nothing like playing inside your home stadium at Paulson. For the Eagles to get a win tonight, Jason, what's going to be the biggest factors against the Gamecocks tonight?
Yeah, for the Eagles, I think it's simple. They got to get themselves into third and short, third and medium situations and capitalize on the plays they're given, and they're able to take a deep shot. And on defensively, they got to sell out for the run. First down, create some negative plays, TFLs, try to keep Jacksonville State off schedule.
This is going to be a game that will be determined on the ground with the run game. Eagles head coach Clay Helton said that they have to do a better job in stopping the run. Over 300 yards given up on average 2 games in, where Jacksonville State used the running game to their advantage. Over 300 yards on the ground, led by their junior running back in Cam Cook.
Yeah, Cam Cook, he's such a special guy. Great vision, great balance. You see him breaking tackles. He's also got great hands, too. And the most important part about him is his vision. He's able to see the cuts before they happen.
195 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win last week, getting ready for the Eagles. For more on this matchup, we send it down to our own Whitney Hayworth with more.
Georgia Southern's head coach Clay Helton said all preseason long that the Eagles' season would be defined on the road. As the Eagles come home with an 0-2 record, the question marks are there. But I can tell you, Danny, you were talking about the importance of the run game for both teams. Another important factor for the Eagles tonight will be their 12th man. Will the power of Paulson help the Eagles to their first win of the season? Only time will tell.
Thanks, Whitney. The fans are hyped and ready. This is the latest home opener for Georgia Southern since 2017. And Jason, you know a thing or two about the power of Paulson as a player. How important is it for the Eagles?
Yes, the power of Paulson is real. For me, it was the best feeling, the best stadium to play in. And you're feeding off the energy of the fans. Being in front of your peers and your friends is going to make for a great game. And you can see the energy in the Eagles early.
The Eagles will get the football to start this game, and we are underway in Paulson. Retrieved by Dalen Cobb. Gets across the 20, pushes for extra yards and bounces out. A stiff arm as Cobb trips up at the 40. An emphatic start to this game for the Eagles in good field position.
Yeah, a great return by Cobb right there. They're putting their playmakers out there early, trying to get an explosive play, and it paid off right there.
We will see an early look of quarterback J.C. French IV. This is his second season as the Eagles starting quarterback at 179 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And Coach Helton talked about how French his flow has been better from week 1 to week 2 and does a good job protecting the football. Eagles starting from the 40. And the first play will be a handoff on the outside to David Badinga. Doesn't get any yards, may have been taken back a yard. It's going to be a running back by committee for the Eagles tonight, going between David Badinga and O.J. Arnold. Tackle was made by Emmanuel Oyabadajo. Eagles running fast. It's an outside run to Cobb. Cobb, hit stick applied across the 50. Takes a couple of Jack State players to take him down. That's the Eagles offense. They want to operate quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, Eagles do a lot of motion, trying to get their guys the ball quickly. Right here, just getting Cobb situated early, let him make some plays for them.
Trevor Woods making the tackle for the Gamecocks. Another run. And you'll see a lot of that with the number of running backs that the Eagles have. Offensive coordinator Ryan Applin says when you have a 1-2 punch and even a 3-4 punch, it gives you the ability to play fast, knowing you could sub players in and out.
Correct. I think Georgia Southern feels they have the advantage with it being having a bigger line in Jacksonville State defensive line, so I think they're going to try to keep sticking it up in there and wear them down.
A gain of 2. French back to pass. Throws near side, complete. And that's Dylan Gary who gets the first down for Georgia Southern. The Eagles are down a couple of players this game. Josh Dallas is out, so it'll be a time for other receivers to step up in his absence.
Definitely. Dylan Gray made a great read right here, set down in the open area, and the Eagles are playing fast, trying to keep Jacksonville State off balance here.
Following a gain of 16 yards. From the 30. Camden Brown in motion. French handoff, O.J. Arnold. And gets a couple of yards. O.J. Arnold, one of the new starting running backs, was on this team last year. He was behind Jalen White. White was the longtime running back for the Eagles in his 5 years.
Yeah, O.J. has a lot of explosiveness in him. Getting him the ball early again, trying to get him in rhythm, get all the Eagles a touch early as you see they're spreading it out. I think this is going to pay dividends in the end.
4-yard gain. Be the 6th play of the opening drive. French throws, pass caught, and hanging on to it while being taken down is Marcus Sanders Jr., his 5th reception. Eagles are in the red zone. This is critical for Jacksonville State because they haven't given up a red zone touchdown all season.
Yeah, and that speaks volumes to their defense not to give up a red zone touchdown. I know they're looking to hold right here, get a field goal out of this, and try to minimize the damage, but Georgia Southern really needs to capitalize and put this in the end zone.
So there you see no touchdowns allowed from Jack State. From the 12, French will keep, and he gets wrapped up from behind. Curtis Perry, the redshirt junior, transfer from Virginia Tech, making the stop for the Gamecocks.
That's a great play right there by Perry. He read the running back, came off, and still made a tackle for a loss right there.
A loss of 2. 8th play of the drive. French throw into the end zone, caught and taken out at the 2. Terrence Gibbs, one of the additional running backs for the Eagles. What a play.
This is a very great catch, especially by a running back, how he contorts his body, stays in bounds. And that's also an awesome throw by French right there, keeping on his back shoulder. Just
goes back to the quick offense and able to rotate running backs. Gibbs goes off the field. Arnold back in. A gain of 12. French a perfect 3 of 3 on this opening drive. From the 2, handoff, rather a keep from French. He spins and gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
Couldn't ask for a better play right here from Georgia Southern offense. They've been throwing the ball all over the field. Now they're using French in his legs. I think he has the ability to run the ball throughout the game, getting 4 and 5 yards. Plays like this is critical for Georgia Southern to keep moving the ball later on in the game.
What's crazy enough is that is the Eagles' first rushing touchdown of the season. It's also the first red zone touchdown the Gamecocks have given up.
And I think it kind of fooled the Gamecocks a little bit right here with French carrying the football. It's kind of unexpected, especially the way Georgia Southern throws the ball right now.
True freshman Trip Bryant completes the PAT, a 7-0 start for the Eagles. 9 plays, 60 yards, taken off just under 4 minutes off the clock. A quarterback keep from J.C. French, the first rushing touchdown for the Eagles. Gamecocks will get the ball when we return on ESPN+. Back on ESPN+, a 7-0 start following the Eagles' opening drive, 9 plays, 60 yards. It was J.C. French running it in for the first rushing touchdown for the Eagles, and that just goes to show the quick, fast, in a hurry play of the Eagles offense, Jason.
Yeah, the Eagles came out with a plan, and they executed perfectly. I believe they wanted to play with a little pace and a little tempo, trying to keep Jacksonville State off balance, and it paid off right there. If you're Jacksonville State, you got to go back to the sidelines, figure out what you got to do, and that goes with getting lined up quickly and identifying your keys.
The fans are loving it. Whitney talked about the power of Paulson and how they would play a factor in this game tonight. Jason, you mentioned how important it is to have that, and that was one of the biggest things that Clay Helton was so excited about coming back home. He was grateful for the opportunity starting out the season in California, 9 days in that trip, going against Fresno State and his former team, Southern Cal. But he said that there's no better thing than playing in Paulson and wanting to improve from game 2 to game 3.
Yeah, correct. Going out on a road trip, I think, was definitely good for the team because you get a bonding, you get to be with each other. There's nowhere else to go, so you're going to get to know your teammates very well. But coming back to Paulson, you're going to feel this energy. It's no place like it that I played at. Big stadium, small stadium. The fans here live and die for football, and it's going to show throughout the night. You see these fans getting hyped up.
Get a look at Charles Kelly, Jacksonville State head coach, 35 years in the game. In his first season as a head coach, had stops as the defensive coordinator at so many places. More recently at Auburn last year, and even coached for Deion Sanders in Colorado. While you look at Eagles head coach Clay Helton, 4th season with the program, coming off his best year, 8-5 last season, as a touchback for the Gamecocks. And we will see senior quarterback Gavin Wimsatt, the transfer from Kentucky. While the run game was the biggest factor for Jack State over Liberty, the passing game not so much. Just 6 of 12 for 52 yards. But head coach Charles Kelly talked about how critical Wimsatt was in making key third down plays.
Yeah, that he did. They were getting third and short. Staying out of third and long helps him out. Third and short, he's throwing a quick out, hitches, but he definitely made all the throws they need to make on third down. So we'll see how he does tonight.
Trips right, Gamecocks start from the 25. First handoff to Cam Cook. Bounces outside, gets a gain about 3 yards. And Cook was the driving force, 2 touchdowns as he was sent out of bounds by Kevin Douglas.
Georgia Southern did a good job of rallying to the football right there, not letting his shoulders get squared to the line of scrimmage. Once he gets north and south, it's kind of hard to bring this guy down.
Correction, that was Brandon Tyson making that tackle for the Eagles. 2nd and 7. Wimsatt will keep. Ooh, and Tyson right there to send him down. Brandon Tyson for Georgia Southern, redshirt junior transfer out of Elon. He was an FCS All-American back in 2023.
Yeah, he's going to have to be big today, especially the way Jacksonville State runs the ball. As you see on the first 2 plays, he's locked in and ready to go.
3rd and 5. Gamecocks 8 of 14 last week on third down conversions. Wimsatt floats one, and the pass is caught going out of bounds, but they're going to say it was incomplete. Caleb Coombs made the catch but couldn't stay in bounds. What a 3-and-out for the Eagles defense.
Yeah, that's definitely where they want to start the game. They got the 2 runs. They held them in check. Had a quick wheel route right here. Actually, pretty good play. Just threw it a little bit out of bounds, but I think for the Eagles, you couldn't ask for a better start offensively or defensively right here.
A great response after the Eagles offense scoring on their opening drive. We'll see Peyton Plott, the true freshman, on the punt return for the Eagles.
The previous play is on the video review.
We're going to have our first review of the night. Gamecocks want to challenge that play and see if Coombs was indeed in bounds or not.
I believe they think he had a toe in here.
So we'll get a look from a couple of different angles. It was a beautiful ball that was thrown by Wimsatt. And you got to even give Coombs some credit over the shoulder for the catch. Transfer out of Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, Wimsatt, that was a good throw on his part. I think only one person could catch it. His receiver caught it. Unfortunately, he was out of bounds. But I think, like you said, they want to take another look at it. If this is complete, I think his confidence just grows.
Let's see here. Oh, left foot went down, but the right foot that went out.
If he has firm control of it, I think they're going to give him a catch here.
And be first and 10 at the 45, and the clock will start on my signal.
What a call from Charles Kelly on the challenge. Calls overturned. Coombs got his left foot down. The drive continues for the Gamecocks.
I think it shows you how important the first drive is for a coach to use a challenge that early in the game, that he knows he can't fall behind 2 and 3 scores versus offense like Georgia Southern.
Well, Coach Kelly did say that one of his keys for the offense was to get some explosive plays in the passing game. And Wimsatt threw that one well, a gain of 15 on the reception from Coombs. Five minutes have gone by in the opening quarter. First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Wimsatt, good protection, throws near side, and it will be incomplete. Brock Recksteiner.
I believe they're calling that complete right there.
Oh, they did call it complete instead. So Brock Recksteiner making the catch. The redshirt senior out of Woodstock, Georgia, returns to his home state.
That's a tough catch, right? The DB's draped all over him. He coming back for the ball. Secured it. Getting down.
Gain of 8. Second and 2. Hand off to Cam Cook. And Cook is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Dorian Smith, the nickelback, with the tackle for loss.
That is an absolute great tackle right there by nickelback on a bigger person. Coming up and filling, and as you can see, Georgia Southern selling out for the run early. Again, got Jacksonville State in a 3rd and 4 situation, trying to force him to throw the ball here.
We've already seen some impact players making an impact here. Cam Cook, not so much that time, but Brandon Tyson for Georgia Southern making some big plays.
Yeah, Brandon Tyson's been all over the place, and for Georgia Southern on offense, Camden Brown, I think he's going to have a big game as well for them to win it.
A pitch out on 3rd and 4 to Cook. Cook gets across the 40, stays upright, and tackled inside the 35. A big gain for the junior running back.
And that was a nice call by Jacksonville State right here. They actually got him out here on a quick toss, getting him on the edge. I think the inside run wasn't working just yet. Want to get him out here on the edge and see what he can do.
That brings up 1st and 10 from the 33, following a 16-yard gain from Cook. Wimsatt will keep, has a hole, absorbs contact. Tackled at the end by Aiden Jackson. So you're seeing the Eagles secondary get involved. They're going to need some players to step up, as Georgia Southern will be without Chance Gamble.
Yeah, that's definitely a big loss without having Gamble. But again, somebody else has the opportunity to make a play here, so they're coming up and filling the hole. And with Wimsatt, he's a tough guy to get on the ground as well, especially with 2 guards pulling out in front of him.
Yeah, Wimsatt did have a rushing touchdown, 10 carries for 78 yards. He'll keep on 2nd and 1, throw near side to Coombs, and Coombs inside the 10 gets pushed out at the end. Gamecocks in the red zone.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville State got a kind of handle on what Georgia Southern's doing on defense. This is the 2nd time on the wheel route he's been open. So we got some Georgia Southern defense has stuff to fix here.
Running fast, hurry up offense, and nowhere to go that time for Cook. Wrapped up at the end from Caleb Moore.
Yeah, Caleb Moore made a great move right here, crossing the guard's face, getting in the backfield. Penetration is going to be the only thing that stops these runs right here, and Georgia Southern's getting deep penetration at the moment.
Davion Rhodes was also there on the tackle. Makes it 2nd and goal. Two receivers near side. Wimsatt, he keeps it, bounces out, has a block, and could basically walk in and scores for Jack State. Touchdown. What a block on the outside from Michael Petway, the receiver, who's making his season debut for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, that was an amazing block right there. Again, I think Jacksonville State has a beat on the defense right now. That was a great pull. Basically, no one was out there. I'm not sure if Georgia Southern was misaligned or the play fooled them that much, but a very good opening drive to answer what Georgia Southern did.
What was an initial 3-and-out stop for the Gamecocks turns into 10-play, 75-yard drive after the review. PAT is good by Garrison Ripa. Watch the receiver Petway make room for Wimsatt to get into the end zone. Tied up at 7 with 6:34 to play in the first on ESPN+. Both quarterbacks, Gavin Wimsatt for Jack State and J.C. French for Georgia Southern, scoring on their opening drives with their feet with rushing touchdowns. You see Wimsatt has not thrown a touchdown pass this season, but he is shifty on his feet when he can be. And for J.C. French to get the first rushing touchdown for the Eagles this year, got to be impressive along with what he's done in the air, Jason.
Yeah, definitely an impressive stat. If French can get going and using his feet to create first downs and touchdowns, that's just going to open up the offense even more. And for Wimsatt, he's just following what they've been doing all year. If they get to the red zone, it's the 1-2 punch with him and Cam. They're just going to keep doing what works.
This is also the first season for Georgia Southern where they have a starting quarterback for the second straight year under Clay Helton. His first year in 2022, it was Kyle Van Treese. 23, it was Davis Brin. And French has been the starter last year and now this year. Cobb retrieves it and has a hole. Cobb breaking through. He has all the space to take it to the house. Special teams getting it done for the Eagles.
I think Jacksonville State right here, they're flirting with danger. The first kickoff almost went to the house. They give them another shot at it. I think Georgia Southern kind of picked up a couple extra blocks right there. When Cobb gets out front, there's no catching him. Everybody just turn off the engines and watch him run right there.
Wow, what a return for Cobb, the senior from Washington, Georgia. Clay Helton said he wanted something to get going in special teams, and did just that, wasting no time. PAT is good, and just like that, the Eagles take the lead 14-7.
Right. Coach Helton definitely mentioned about a big return right here. As you come in through, the wall set, and once he gets vertical right here, one move on the kicker, kind of broke his ankles right here, puts his head down, he's off to the races.
Utilizing the power of Paulson here tonight in Statesboro. I mean, look at this lane. Oh, he made the kicker miss. My goodness. Now, it's something for us to call it up here in the booth. Whitney, what was that like for you down the field level?
Well, Danny, I honestly wish I could hear you all a little better. So first and foremost, that's how it is down here on the Evans Family Field. But also, I heard you slightly be able to say that Coach Helton talked about this would be a difference maker. Special teams would make the play in this game that could help lead the Eagles to victory. Now, Dalen Cobb, could it be Dalen Cobb or could it be those back for the punt return? We'll see. But the biggest thing about all of those moments, whether it's Dalen Cobb or Josh Dallas in other games tonight, could be Peyton Plott, is that Coach Helton always loves to say one thing he loves more than anything in this world is a non-offensive touchdown. So I think he'll be pretty happy with that result right there.
95 yards to the house. Thanks, Whitney. Now for Jacksonville State back out on offense. How do they respond to this quick turnaround from Georgia Southern?
If I'm Jacksonville State, I stick to what we've been doing, just grinding the ball out. Still, you got to feed Cam Cook. Can't go away from him. But I think Georgia Southern's doing a nice job on first and second down. So Jacksonville State may have to throw it on the first down to back Georgia Southern up at the moment.
Another touchback. Gamecocks will once again start from the 25, far side hash. Rex Steiner, rather Pearson Baldwin in motion. Wimsatt will throw on first down, has all day to throw, now gonna run, cuts outside, and will get out of bounds at about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, nice pursuit by the defense right there, but I actually think they were ready for the pass on first down. They were in a too high look, trying to keep the ball in front of them. I think they were a step ahead of Jacksonville State at the moment.
Actually gets out of the 28, a gain of 3 for Wimsatt. He's ran it now 4 times in this opening quarter, but he's been a perfect 3 of 3 passing. Trips left, Wimsatt will keep, bounces out and absorbs contact, and gets a couple of more yards and make it 3rd and short. Jakari Brown on the stop for the Eagles.
Yeah, nice field by Jakari right there. Only guy left to make the tackle, and he did his job, got the ball on the ground. Again, another 3rd and 4 situation. Still can run it, but I think Georgia Southern defense doing a great job of keeping Cook from making big runs at the moment. So I'm looking for a quarterback draw or something in breaking from the quarterback.
Play clock at 8. And the 31 and
Timeout. Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern.
This is their first timeout of the first half.
Their first timeout of the game.
Yeah, that was a good timeout right there. I think the motion had Georgia Southern a little bit confused. And this is a big play right here. If you can have Jacksonville State punt, get the ball back, and go up 2 scores, I think the outcome of the game could be different on a situation like this so early.
And one difference this year for Georgia Southern's defense, defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey, normally up in the press box, he is now down on the field this season. That does make a bit of a difference, as Coach Bailey talked about how he can be closer to the players, feel the temperature in the morale of the unit. He has guys that he can trust being up in the booth while Bailey's down on the field.
Yeah, I think you getting the feel of your players is the best thing you can do. I've had the coordinators be up in the booth and some be on the field. But when you have people you can trust on your staff, I think it makes it easier for him to be on the field and get to know his players.
Gave up the most yards in program history against Southern Cal last Saturday, 755. They've done a better job in the first quarter tonight. Out of the timeout, 3rd and 4. Handoff up the middle to Cook, stays on his feet. Cam Cook going for extra yards, was taken down by multiple Eagles. And that's the thing about Cook. He's only 5'11", 200 pounds, but he is a lot stronger than people think.
Yeah, he's very strong with great balance. I think Georgia Southern had it played well, but like we alluded to earlier, he has very good balance. Put that arm down. He's just a hard guy to bring down. And again, when they get into that 3rd and 4 situation, the run is still an option for them.
More powerful than he looks. That's what offensive coordinator Clint Trickett spoke with us the other day. Cook will keep again, but didn't have anywhere to go as Justin Myers making the tackle. This is also something unique as well. Clint Trickett, the offensive coordinator for the Gamecocks, he was at Georgia Southern last year under Clay Helton in the staff.
Yeah, I think that's neat for him to come back and play against his old team, but also he has some insight on some of the players here, so I'm sure that gives him a little bit of advantage when he's calling plays.
No gain from Cook. 2nd and 10. Wimstadt will float one, and Cook a little bit too far ahead, incomplete. Also looked like Wimstadt didn't get much under that throw, but didn't it look like Cook was supposed to come back for the catch?
Yeah, I think Jacob Ferguson might have saved the touchdown right here. They faked to him and ran him on the wheel. I think Georgia Southern kind of lost track of him, but great pressure by the D-line right there. And plays like that get him into 3rd and long. Now the advantage goes back to Georgia Southern here.
4 minutes to go in the first. 3rd and 10, quick throw to Rex Steiner. Rex Steiner bouncing outside. He has blockers and off he goes. Rex Steiner inside the 10 and in the end zone for a touchdown. What blocking from the Gamecocks offense for Rex Steiner to switch directions and score.
Yeah, I think that's a great play call. Gave them something safe to get, to move the chains a little bit, made somebody miss, and then off to the races. As you see, the running back comes back and gives him a block to get into the end zone. All around good play by Jacksonville State, but again, poor tackling by Georgia Southern when you got a chance to get the guy on the ground short of the first down.
6 plays, 75 yards. PAT is good by Ripa. The Gamecocks tie it at 14. Brock Rex Steiner, the redshirt senior, the son of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner. He is tough as he can be, and he had all the room with an extra man for blocking in Cook to get into the end zone. Tied at 14 with 3:42 to go in the first on ESPN+.
Welcome back to Paulson Stadium, where Georgia Southern and Jacksonville State are tied at 14 all. It's a game of common connections, football is. Clint Trickett is not the only familiar name we'll talk about tonight on the Jacksonville State sideline who is familiar with Georgia Southern, but tight ends coach Taylor Housewright on the Jacksonville State staff, Isaac Walker on the defensive side of the ball, as well as Tyler Bride, know a little bit about the blue and white. And talking with Coach Trickett and Coach Housewright earlier this week, it was so great to hear the respect that they have, not only, of course, for their new team, but for their old team as well. We'll definitely go into more of the Trickett family and the Trickett legacy later on, but I do want to take a moment to tell you about Coach Housewright and the compliments that he had for the entire Georgia Southern staff and the excitement that he has to work with Coach Trickett. I said when Coach Trickett called you to take you to Jacksonville State, you know, you had other opportunities that you could have said yes to. Why the Gamecocks? And he said there's two words to that. And he said Clint Trickett. He said their year in Statesboro together last year meant more to him than anyone could ever imagine. We'll see what happens with this play with Terrence Gibbs.
What a return from Gibbs. It was a short kick from the Gamecocks, and the Eagles will have field position at the 31. What a return for Gibbs, and who he was able to turn corners and get great blocking for his return team.
Yeah, again, great job by him. Not fair catching the ball. A lot of times you see a pop kick, you see the guy go to a fair catch, but with the skills that he has, he wanted to make a return, picked up a block here and got north and south. Again, giving Georgia Southern great field position to start off with.
So much action in this first quarter. We still have 3:32 to go and tied at 14. The Eagles will start from the 33 on first down. French throws across the middle, and it bounced off the body of Dalen Cobb.
Right, yeah, just nice little stop route or spot route right there. I don't know if Cobb had his head around at the moment, threw him a little heater right there, but that should have been a 6-7 yard gain to start us off with.
That being the first incompletion for French tonight. And we will have a flag on the play. We'll hear from our referee, Trennis Livingston, here tonight.
Five-yard penalty remains, second down.
Left tackle Johnny Brown III called on the false start, and that's another position where the Eagles are down a man. Kalen Williams, a 6-year senior, is out for this game, suffering a season-ending injury. So next man up on the O-line with the redshirt junior in Brown.
Yeah, Georgia Southern's been playing a pretty clean game so far, with that penalty being, I think, their first one of the game. So hopefully they can.
2nd and 15. Short gain from O.J. Arnold.
Yeah, nice field right there by Mark Sanders coming in from the linebacker position, keeping O.J. Arnold from getting out, squirting out for a big run. Now they have Georgia Southern in a 3rd and long situation, and if you're Jacksonville State, this is where you want to be, where J.C. French has to hold the ball a little bit longer, and you can get your pass rushers out.
It's the first 3rd down conversion for the Eagles, 31% on the year. That is one thing that Coach Helton wanted to see his team improve on tonight. And the Eagles are going to use their 2nd timeout of the half, 2nd in this quarter alone.
Yeah, I think the Eagles feel like they got a chance to get points off this drive, so it'll make sure they get something positive out of this timeout, either get them in field goal range or try to go for it and get the whole 12, 13 yards here.
So you saw the 3rd down efficiency, 31% on the year, just 4 of 15 in LA against Southern Cal. But how about this? Most of the yardage have come from special teams, including the 95-yard kick return from Dalen Cobb.
Yeah, special team is a big factor that's kind of hidden in the game. If you can win those chunk plays and win those hidden yardage, a lot of times you have a chance to win a game. You can also block a punt, block a field goal, and kind of turn the tide. So Georgia Southern's taking advantage of these hidden yards they got so far.
Can't forget about that 40-yard return on the pooch kick from Terrence Gibbs on this recent return. So out of the Eagles timeout, 3rd and 12, 4 receivers set. French, good protection, throws, oh, what a catch Hanging on to it is Taylor Bradshaw, the redshirt sophomore, and get the first down for Southern.
Yeah, that's a heck of a catch and a heck of a throw. Kind of knifing that ball in there in front of Malcolm Jones right there as he made the hit on it. The way to hang on to the ball, and that's what it's going to take to win big league games like this.
Part of the next man up mentality, his second reception on the year. Eagles at the 21. Arnold can't find any space, and he'll get stopped for a minimal gain, but it does put the Eagles back in the red zone.
Right, the red zone trips are what you're looking for here. Obviously, you got a field goal in your pocket, so you don't want to turn the ball over, but you definitely want to come out and just drive with 7 the way Jacksonville State's moving the ball.
Gain of 2, hurry up offense. French floats to the end zone, incomplete. Just at the 1 or 2 yard line, Camden Brown, who has a big play ability out there in the wideout position.
Yeah, they're just trying to get up there and give him a chance to make a play, but I thought Traquan had very good coverage on him, but I would not shy away from that matchup. I would give him another chance here later on in the game.
Draquan Fagans on the coverage outside. Brings up 3rd and 8. French, good protection, throws, and it's almost intercepted. Caleb Nix, the Clemson transfer, could not hang on, and the Eagles will send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, Jace, this is just a missed throw right here. He had the crossing route for a touchdown probably, but he also could have been an interception for Jacksonville State. But he's got to step up and make their throw right there. Camden Brown came wide open. I think Jacksonville State dodged a bullet on that one.
This is the first official field goal attempt for the true freshman Trip Bryant. The Eagles did not hit any field goals or even take any field goals in their first 2 games against Fresno State and USC.
Yeah, they're going to have to burn another timeout here. They were not lined up for the field goal, had a guy on the sideline. Hopefully this doesn't add more pressure to the kicker for it being his first kick, but I'm sure Coach Hilton can't be happy with this one.
Timeout. Georgia Southern, this is their 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
Wow.
30 seconds.
Georgia Southern using all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely something you don't want to do, but I think right here you got points in your pocket, and being his first kick, you want to make it as short as possible. I think if he knocks down a few kicks, you may take the 5-yard penalty there, but being the first kick, I think you want to make it as easy as possible.
There was a battle in the preseason for who was going to be the starting kicker. Coach Helton said in the opening press conference for Fresno State that Trip Bryant won out that position. And what a way to take your first official field goal attempt at home 2 weeks after the season started.
Yeah, typically that's a sign of a good offense, but right now they've kind of been struggling, but I know they need these points right here.
It'll be a 36-yard field goal attempt. And he knocks it down. Eagles lead 17-14. The true freshman Trip Bryant gets his first career make.
Yeah, that's big for him. It's a good operation. I think his confidence is going to grow. Later on in the game, they may need another kick, maybe even to win it. So getting him a field goal early is essential.
Minute 44 to go in the first quarter, but one thing that'll be unique to see how it's played out throughout the rest of the half, how the Eagles will operate with no timeouts remaining in this half.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Hopefully the Eagles don't have to use another timeout and kind of know what they got going on, getting all this stuff worked out beforehand. But as it gets down to the wire, them timeouts definitely come in handy.
Only 2 non-conference losses at home since 2007. The second one was last year in the season opener against a college football playoff team and a team that had the Heisman Trophy winner in Ashton Jeanty in Boise State. Who did not win the Heisman, excuse me, but was a Heisman favorite.
Correct. And
again, a lot of people thought he should have won.
I can agree with that. He was a very good player. We saw him here live. He was a special running back. But Georgia Southern had the chance to win that game as well.
I think that's why I potentially said he should have won it, because he really had a strong start to the season last year. It was Travis Hunter that beat him out, and when you have a guy playing both sides of the football and having impressive numbers, he's likely going to edge out a running back like Jeanty. But Jeanty doing well now with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's been a big piece in that offense.
last year the Heisman voting was very tough because all the guys in there were very deserving. So whoever won it, just got to give you praises to all of them. They both all did a good job.
Once again, see how Jacksonville State responds after another touchback. Starting out from the 25. They've worked their way out of some unique situations in their first 2 drives, especially converting on 3rd downs. Perfect 4 of 4 in that category. Wimsatt on 1st down, throws, and it is stripped away and intercepted. Aiden Jackson gets his first pick of the year, and a big one for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a huge play for Georgia Southern right there. I think Wimsatt had his receiver, just kind of missed him just a little bit in that bobble. Let Aiden Jackson come in and get that interception. Again, putting Georgia Southern on the fringe of points already. So Georgia Southern needs to make a capitalize on this and get points. And as for Jacksonville State, you got about 10 yards to keep them out of field goal range. They got to step up here on defense.
Caleb Coons had hands on the football but couldn't hang on. And with that, Jackson was there to strip it away, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. And just like that, Eagles have it at the 39 with amazing field position. French on 1st down. Handoff bouncing out. Yeah. Short gain from David Badinga.
Tough running by Badinga, but I think Jacksonville State is flying around to the football right here. There's a lot of hats around that ball. Georgia Southern got to make sure they cover it up because they're trying to strip this ball out.
No gain from Badinga. 2nd and 10. Play action. French. Good protection. Rolls right. He'll keep it. It's across the 30, inside the 30, and out of bounds.
Yeah, I think Georgia Southern wanted to call up a deep shot right there. And again, what Coach Applin said, how he does not force the ball downfield. Great job by French. I think he wanted to let it go to Camden Brown on the crossing route there. But again, using his feet to create a positive gain and put him into a third and 1, which should be a situation where you could pick up a 1st down pretty easily.
It was just shy. Was pushed out at the end by Tay Floyd, the defensive lineman. From the 30 on 3rd and 1. French will keep again. Gets tackled, and for progress should give him the 1st down.
Again, they're using French feet to make the 1st down, giving himself a +1 in the run game. As you see right here, he kind of just catches it. A little pause, get the lead block out here. Again, great tackle right here for the defense, kind of him to the thigh pad, but JC's tough guy. Way to make the 1st down for your team.
It took a hard bounce off the turf, but he gets the 1st down for the Eagles. Inside, now 10 seconds remaining in the 1st. Eagles will get one more play off. It would be a run by Badinga, who slips through, spins inside the 20, taken down at the 17, and that's where the Eagles will have it. As the 1st quarter comes to a close, the first career field goal for Trip Bryant gives them the edge, 17-14 through 1. What an electric start in the home opener from Paulson Stadium, nicknamed the prettiest little stadium in America. 2nd quarter coming up after the break on ESPN+. ESPN College Football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Beautiful Saturday night in Paulson Stadium, 17-14 Eagles through one. Second quarter on the way. French wasting no time and has Camden Brown for the Eagles touchdown.
Oh, yeah, this is a very nice play drawn up right here. Camden Brown, they get a motion moving out, get him on the one-on-one coverage. He hits him with an in and up. As the safety drops down, French drops it right over top for the touchdown. This is something they scouted. They've been waiting for this call to happen.
18-yard reception from the senior transfer from Auburn. There are a lot of returning receivers for the Eagles this year. Josh Dallas, Dalen Cobb, Marcus Sanders. But one piece they were missing was the deep play ability and playmaking ability that former Eagles receiver Derwin Burgess had last year. Camden Brown replaces that and is already with 4 receiving touchdowns on the year, and the PAT makes it 24-14 Eagles.
Yeah, Camden Brown, as you watch here, and he puts that foot in the ground, gets up. He just lays this ball out here real nice. He's a special talent. Like I said, he's a 6'2", can get up and go get the ball, large hands. I think all the Georgia Southern single season receiving records are up for grabs this year with him.
Wasting no time to start the second quarter. J.C. French, first play of the second with that 18-yard pass. It is French's 5th touchdown pass on the year, so already 1 in the air along with 1 on the ground. Look at this. Georgia Southern have won 12 in a row when they are up by at least 10 points.
Yeah, this is the danger zone for Jacksonville State right here. I think they need to come back and answer. If they do not answer, I think Georgia Southern goes up by, 14, 17 points. It's going to force Jacksonville State to throw the ball. So this is a big possession right here. Jacksonville State needs to take the crowd out of the game and put some points on the board here.
Other touchbacks. How about special teams for the Eagles? We've seen some returns, but also some great kicking as well. So what's the biggest focus for the Gamecocks back out on offense?
Right now, I think they got to stay true to who they are. It's only a 10-point game. They've been moving the ball pretty well. Obviously, the pick cost them right there. But don't get in a hurry. Do what you do right now. Keep feeding Cam Brown.
You see the first 2 drives, tremendous starts on the entire 75 yards. But the first play of drive number 3, an interception from Aiden Jackson. By Aiden Jackson. First down, Wimsatt keeps, absorbs contact from Tyson. In the short game. Whitney Hayworth has more on the Eagles defense.
Well, Danny, make sure to keep an eye out on who is out there for the Georgia Southern defensive line. Latrell Bullard came out of the injury tent a few moments ago, walking on crutches back inside. I am told that he is probable to return, potentially just going back inside to be taped. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. We will not speculate any further than that.
Thanks, Whitney. Pitch out. This is Kristen Lando, who will have enough for a Gamecocks first down. Now, with Bullard probable right now for the Eagles, Jacksonville State or without their backup running back in Andrew Paul. You get a look at the other Eagles that are out tonight here against Jack State. I mentioned Josh Dallas and Chance Gamble, also with River Helms suffering a season-ending injury with Kalen Williams. A couple of blows earlier this week.
A game like this is going to challenge the depth of your team. Georgia Southern needs to try to make sure they get this game over with early if they can to avoid more injuries.
Cam Cook gets another first down for the Gamecocks. You got to hurry up offense from Jack State here.
Yeah, nice run by Cam Cook right there. See the power as he finishes run. He's always finishing forward. These guys are just getting full flow action right there.
Got a gain of 14, but not that much from Lando. Comes in right after. Only got a gain of 1.
The first down is essential for Georgia Southern. If they get them in 2nd and 9, I think they can throw them off schedule. But these gashing runs by Cook is obviously going to wear on Georgia Southern as the game goes on.
Run game has worked over for the Gamecocks. 5 yards a carry. Window in motion. Wimsatt going to throw over the middle, caught, and Pearson Baldwin gets inside the 25, tackled at the 21. Another big play, big passing play for Jack State.
Yeah, definitely need. I think Jacksonville State pulling out the old playbook right here. They had all the receivers on one side, fake the run, and pop up and throw them another pass. Again, another quick play right here, getting the ball out on the perimeter. They're trying to speed Georgia Southern up, trying to test their depth right here.
Rex Steiner on the reception. A beautiful 56-yard reception to tie this game at 14 all. Jags in the red zone, 2nd and 7 from the 15. Wimsatt throws the Cook, and the Eagles defense was ready. Prince Green on the tackle, going to bring up 3rd down.
That's a very good read by Green. I think they understand that right now Jacksonville State is only trying to make the safe throws. They're not going to put the ball in harm's way again, so everything is off the action and a quick pass. I think Georgia Southern has a chance to jump some routes right here, maybe get themselves an interception.
Cook made the catch but didn't gain any yardage. The Jags have been perfect on 3rd down, 4 of 4.
And I believe they've been perfect in the red zone as well, correct?
Off by just once. They were perfect last week against Liberty. And the Gamecocks will use their first timeout of the half. Yeah, went 5 of 5 in their 34-24 win over Liberty, 6 and 7 overall.
So this is a big possession for Georgia Southern right here. You got a chance to hold them to a field goal. But again, Jacksonville State wants to keep doing what they've been doing and punching this ball in the end zone. I'm sure they're going to find a way to get the ball to Cook.
Chance for Jacksonville State and Georgia Southern to talk things over. This is actually in the Eagles' benefit because they used all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter.
For sure, this definitely gives the Eagles a rest. Kind of talk about what they can expect right here. What they can expect right here. Again, I think it's going to be something quick or it's going to be a quarterback power. We're trying to wonder if this is 2-down territory for Jacksonville State as well.
Out of the timeout, Wimsatt going to throw to Rex Steiner. Rex Steiner stays up and won't have enough for 1st down.
Again, another safe play, better tackling by Georgia Southern. I think Jacksonville State just wants to get the ball out on the perimeter, see if they can break a tackle, but not give up the opportunity to get points here, so they kept it pretty safe.
Gamecocks will go for a field goal. Garrison Ripa hit a 24-yarder and a 50-yarder. He has a perfect 6 of 6, 20 to 29 yards. This is a 29-yard attempt. Gets it to go. He's now 4 of 5 on the year, but remains a perfect 7 of 7 in his career from that distance. A 1-touchdown game in Statesboro, 24-17. Eagles get the football when we come back on ESPN+. reception, now at 4 on the year, and he's been a big playmaker for the Eagles, Jason.
Yes, anytime Georgia Southern gets closer to the red zone, with Camden Brown, his size and his ability to go up and just catch the ball, you got to definitely think they're looking for him. He's such a phenomenal athlete. I see why they throw it to him.
Already 4 touchdowns, 8 receptions, 148 yards. Whitney Hayworth has more on the senior transfer from Auburn.
Offensive coordinator Ryan Applin couldn't speak any more highly of Camden Brown when we spoke to him earlier this week. He said it feels like he's been here for 4 years and he's so mature, he's hungry from a football perspective. He just simply plays the game the right way, and you can see how that rewards him out there on the field. He also shared with us how the touchdown against Southern Cal that Weston Bryan threw to him was a surprise, because Coach Applin said, you know what, I called a run play on that, and Weston was able to see that there was zero coverage. He took a shot right at Camden Brown, and Camden was ready when his number was called in that play. So I assume that Georgia Southern will enjoy watching him throughout this season. Yeah,
Whitney, Brown will be of the light throughout the year. And also, how about the adjustment made by the quarterback Weston Bryan in that moment? He's 6'3", 250 pounds, a true freshman, and already making adjustments on his own. How will Jacksonville State make this adjustment coming back on offense?
Yeah, I think Jacksonville State now.
Georgia Southern, I should say, for defense for Jacksonville State.
Yeah, I think for Jacksonville State, they got to figure out a way to get pressure on JC. Right now, he's sitting pretty comfortably. Georgia Southern O-line's doing a very good job, especially to have new guys moving around, but Jacksonville State has to generate some inside pressure.
25, Terrence Gibbs in motion, empty backfield. Quick screen play to Cobb. It's a couple of yards.
Again, Georgia Southern does a good job on first down. They get the ball out very quickly, especially when they go empty. You got to expect something quick. Coach Applin's doing a great job of calling the game right now. He has a feel for what's going on.
Cobb with a gain of 5, his first reception. 6 completions from J.C. French to 6 different receivers. Good protection from French. He dumps it out to Gibbs. Gibbs has a block and will be just shy of a first down.
Right here, you can see the growth in J.C. French right there. He definitely called a shot play. He looked at it, he pumped it. He almost won it, but Jacksonville State did a good job of staying deep. He comes to the check down to give themselves a chance to make a 3rd and 2.
Look at this. Weston Bryan in at quarterback. French comes off the field. The true freshman on 3rd and 2 from the 33. He's going to keep it. And he powers his way through for an Eagles first down. That's the benefit of having a quarterback that's 250.
Yeah, that kind of reminds you of Tebow and Taysom Hill up there at the Saints. You know what's coming. They motion him out. They pull the guard in the running back around here, right here. And he's just literally running through guys right here. That's all effort, great individual effort for him.
Keeps this drive going for the Eagles. You'll see a lot of Bryan in these unique formations and potentially on more 3rd and short situations. French throws across the middle, pass caught across the 50. Camden Brown with the reception. First down, Eagles.
Another good route. I like how he choked it down right there and stayed quarterback friendly. Right now they're catching Jacksonville State in the cover 2, and the safeties are just getting depth. So Georgia Southern's going to have to keep attacking the middle of the field.
Ryan Applin, offensive coordinator, talked about how the Eagles could work their way downfield with looking at coverages like that.
Yes, he definitely said. You don't want to force it, in which Georgia Southern right now is taking these over-the-middle passes and just eating up the yardage.
Fresh set of downs, bouncing outside and absorbing contact. This is Jamarian Samuel. So we've seen 4 different running backs in the game for the Eagles in the half. Samuel had some great plays made late against Southern Cal last Saturday.
Yeah, Georgia Southern has talent all over the field right there, and they're just using it. Again, a good job by Jaheim Jenkins to get him on the ground right there. But Georgia Southern's really feeling it. I think they got a flow right here, probably going to take another shot if they can.
Gain of 5 from Samuel. Look at another carry. Let's see where the officials will mark this. It's going to be another 3rd and short situation for Southern.
Yeah, see, Jacksonville State's going with the hockey change right here. They got the whole crew, whole new D-line coming on. Looks like linebackers coming on, trying to keep these guys fresh. But as long as Jacksonville State keeps their safeties at 10, 12 yards deep playing cover 2, I think Georgia Southern has to stick with it, keep running the ball and being patient.
Yeah, A lot of running backs for Georgia Southern, but the Gamecocks can rotate 3 different sets of D linemen. 3rd and 1, French under center. He'll keep and gets the first down.
I like it. Georgia Southern makes it easy. Just get up under center, hike the ball. No need to throw it 5 yards. Hike it 6 yards back to try to get 1 yard.
A massive improvement on 3rd down conversions, now 4 of 5.
Right, and what helps is that it's been successful on 1st down. I think Georgia Southern stand into a situation where it's 2nd and short, 3rd and short, and they're able to do multiple things and keep Jacksonville State off balance.
8th play of the drive. Under 7 minutes to go in the first half. There's a run by O.J. Arnold. Tackled at the 32.
Get another nice run by Georgia Southern. Again, they're just doing what the defense gives them. The defense is deep. The safety's not walking up just fast enough, and I think Georgia Southern's going to keep pounding away, letting this clock melt down a little bit and try to get some points out of this one.
Rod Elston and Walker Osteen on the combined efforts. Gain of 6 from Arnold. Three receivers near side, rather far side, Cobb in motion. Arnold will keep, maneuvering his way out and has a hole. Arnold, touchdown Eagles. Takes it 32 yards to the house.
I think that was much needed by Georgia Southern right there to actually have a rushing touchdown from a running back, something they hadn't had all year. Again, Arnold, very nice cut as he got up in there. Quick feet as you see him bouncing back, getting out to the perimeter, find his way to the end zone. But if Jacksonville State's going to sit back with depth, I think Georgia Southern's going to keep doing the right thing and running the football right at him.
And now the rushing touchdowns continue to flow for the Eagles. First it was J.C. French. Now it's O.J. Arnold for his first of the year. 9-play, 75-yard drive. Just under 5 minutes taken off the clock. A different atmosphere when the Eagles are playing at home in Paulson. PAT good by Trick Bryant. 31-17, Georgia Southern. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, as you see, he gets through the hole right here, squirts out the back door, makes a man miss, and he shows the speed all the way to the end zone. This is a terrific run and great vision right here.
31-17, Georgia Southern. You are seeing the power of Paulson in full effect. There's also the benefit of pushing these start times back just a little bit later to enjoy the light show. Normally, home matchups started last year around 6 o'clock. This year, pushed back an hour to 7. And you're already seeing, Jason, how it can play such a fun environment here in Statesboro.
Oh, yeah, when the nighttime comes, the lights come on, the players, the energy level goes up. So pushing the start time back for our home team, I know they're loving it. You see the energy is bouncing around the stadium right now.
Yeah, you're seeing that just across the board in all of college football, how a lot of power conference teams are utilizing the nightlife and the special light show. You see it at Tennessee, at Georgia, Alabama, and others. This will be the first return for the Gamecocks, and they get just across the 20 as Georgia Southern's defense makes their way back out. Whitney Hayworth has an update on Latrell Bullard. Whitney?
As the Georgia Southern defensive line heads back out, they will be without Latrell Bullard the rest of the game. Keep an eye out, another opportunity for that next man up mentality. Danny, since I cannot quite see the defensive line, I'll let you tell me who's actually out there in Latrell's position.
Well, right now, Whitney, you got Devin Lowe, 6'2", 360 up front on the D-line. Not that much of a drop-off from Bullard, who's 6'1", 350. So following the return, Gamecocks will start from the 21. Lando gets pushed across the, taken back. What a stop. Brandon Tyson firing up the Eagles there.
Yeah, you can see that the Eagles are playing with a different level of energy right now. I think they're feeling the crowd coming in. And again, this is danger zone right here for Jacksonville State. I think they need to score in a bad way right here. And they're trying to still keep it safe and stick with the run, but I think they may have to open it up here on first down.
You got to look at Lowe. One other lineman to keep an eye out for in this game is potentially Quan McGinney. High praise from Clay Helton along with defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey. After a gain of 2, Lando, another short yardage run. Was tackled there at the end by Caleb Moore.
Yeah, Caleb Moore did a good job of following back in on the tackle, standing his guy up and creating a stalemate. Again, getting them guys into a 3rd and 6 situation out of Jacksonville State comfort zone. If I'm Jacksonville State, I'm looking for something quick to get the ball into the receiver's hand and let them make a play and try to avoid any bad plays right here. Georgia Southern switches to a 3-man front, so they're expecting pass. They've been in a 4-man front all day.
Wimsatt back to pass. He dumps it out to Lando, who couldn't hang on to the ball. And this is a surefire 3-and-out by the Eagles defense. But we have a flag that's actually going to go on.
Offense, number 50. That penalty is declined.
Holding call on the Gamecocks offense. But what a stop there for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, that was a very impressive stop right there. 3-and-out. They stopped the run on first down. They knew what was coming on 3rd down. Now they just have to get off. They're getting themselves off the field, going to secure the punt. And again, I think they've been winning on special teams. So if I'm the punt returner here, I think I'm looking to make a play as well. And it looks like Georgia Southern's bringing a little pressure here to get this kickoff quickly.
So this will be the first official punt for the Gamecocks. Connor Donaghy. Ball hit at the 35 and actually takes an Eagles bounce forward by about 2 yards. That'll take us to a media break. 4:16 to go, 31-17 Eagles. Student section out in full effect in this 31-17 Georgia Southern lead. 410 yards of total offense. How about the returns, kick returns for Georgia Southern? And also, Jason, both teams playing clean, just one combined penalty tonight.
Yeah, the kick return for Georgia Southern have been essential. I think they've been jump starters for their offense. And again, for one combined penalty, shows the discipline of both teams here.
So following the Gamecocks punt, the Eagles will start from the 37. 4:16 to go in the half. Terrence Gibbs wrapped up from behind. Correction, O.J. Arnold on the carry that time for Southern.
Yeah, O.J. Arnold with the carry, but watch Isaac Walker as he dives in on this play right here, getting another TFL, which is he's known for. A very explosive player, and a great job by Jacksonville State on first down here.
And known for making TFLs at Georgia Southern last year, but spending this season with Jacksonville State, the redshirt senior from Greensboro, North Carolina. No gain, 2nd and 10. French will keep and runs out across the 40-yard line.
Great coverage right there by Jacksonville State. They actually went from a 2-high to a 1-high look, giving Georgia Southern something different. But again, I like how J.C. French uses his legs to create a positive play, get him to a 3rd and manageable instead of a 3rd and long.
A balanced offense for the Eagles on the ground and in the air. Actually even at 94 yards each before this drive started.
Right, when you're calling plays like that, keeping the defense off balance, I think that's the key to success right there.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 6. French near side, incomplete. Arnold could not hang on. And now the Gamecocks with a 3-and-out stop on from their defense.
Yeah, very big stop right there. They needed to stop right there to get themselves back on track, kind of slow the pace down a little bit where they can still run the ball. I think French had his guy open right there, just gets it up and lets it go and hits him in the chest. I think they got a chance to get a first down.
Seeing the special teams on the returns. We'll see how Alex Smith does on the punt for the Eagles.
Yeah, they got to make sure they protect first right here.
Fair catch called and caught at about the 19-yard line from Gabe Glover, true freshman.
I think they're going to have a kick-catch interference right here unless they say Jacksonville State pushed them into it. Should give them another 10, 15 yards right here.
But observation, we'll see what the officials say. It's also maybe the first time we've seen both teams
on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the kick, 1st and 10.
So kick catch interference, you were correct, Jason. I think it's the first time we've had a game with 2 left-footed punters.
That is very strange to see. They both do a good job, but I was looking at that as well. He had a nice height on his kick. The other guy had a great kick as well, so interesting.
The Gamecocks get an additional 15 yards that will help following the kick catch interference, and we're just talking about how clean this game has been. The second penalty in this game. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Gamecocks will start from the 34. Hand off to Cam Cook, haven't called his name in a while. Cook makes a man miss and being held by the back of his jersey, trying to hang on at the end was Tracy Hill.
Right. I like how Jacksonville State did a good job of switching the formation up. They put a stack to the field, kind of made Georgia Southern commit to having guys out there, giving Cam Cook a little bit more space.
But the 8th carry for Cook, a gain of 11 for the first down. Keep in mind, Gamecocks with 2 timeouts left. The Eagles are out of timeouts and technical difficulties on our bug. Wimsatt, plenty of time, whips one across the middle and complete to Coombs. Bring up 3rd and short, 2nd and short.
Good job by Coombs to go down and get that ball. Wimsatt still does not seem just comfortable right now throwing the ball. Looks like he wanted to take it deep and had to reset. Good job by the Eagles of staying deeper than the deep and make him throw underneath.
That takes us to the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the 48 for Jacksonville State when we come back after the break. 31-17, Eagles over the Gamecocks. 31-17 Eagles coming up at halftime. Whitney Hayward catches up with Eagles head coach Clay Helton. We'll talk first half stats and highlights and also a special tribute as we remember Freedom the Eagle, Georgia Southern's live mascot who passed away this past spring. Danny Wall, Jason Foster, Whitney Hayward on hand. On 2nd and 3, Wimsatt gets out of pressure. A flag on the play. Pass was caught. Pearson Baldwin on the reception, goes out of bounds, got the first. We'll see what this flag is on.
I think they're going to get him on a legal shift right here when the guy goes in motion.
Offsides. Defense, number 93. That penalty is declined. Results of the play is a first down.
Gamecocks will decline with an offsides call on Caleb Moore, the sophomore D lineman.
I think Jacksonville State was looking to go deep on that play as well, take a shot, trying to get to the end zone really quick. Georgia Southern State deep again, trying to force Jacksonville State to make some throws here.
Gamecocks in Eagles territory from the 40. Cook on the carry, follows his block. Oh, sent a man down with his shoulder, leaning in, and may have enough for a first down, and he'll get it.
That's tough running right there. Meyer stuck his nose in there to make the tackle, but Cook's starting to feel it a little bit here.
Cook once again, tackled by Davion Rhodes. You're now starting to see Cam Cook get more in rhythm. Lately it was their backup running back, Kristen Lando. Hurry up offense. 2nd and 4, Wimsatt throws, and it is bobbled and incomplete. DeAndre Johnson could not hang on, and that brings up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, he threw a very catchable ball right there. I think Johnson's got to stick his hands out, not let it get to his body, and make that catch and help his quarterback out a little bit. But I think Jacksonville State's doing the correct thing by speeding up the tempo, trying to force Georgia Southern to play pretty base defense right here.
On the 24-yard line, Rex Steiner in motion. Wimsatt, quick throw, and that ball is caught by Johnson and gets the first down, puts the Gamecocks in the red zone.
Right, great catch by Johnson right there in traffic. Got his hands out. He's such a big target. I think in the red zone, they got to start looking for him more. Pretty tight coverage right there, too.
Yeah, but when you're 6'8" and have that height advantage, Johnson was able to maintain possession.
Yeah, I think for Jacksonville State to win this game, they're going to have to make some contested catches here.
Oh, Cook slipped up, but still finds a way to get about 2 yards inside the final minute of the half.
I see Georgia Southern making a line change right here, trying to stay fresh.
And also down a man, maybe without Latrell Buller the rest of the way. A gain of 1. Wimsatt keeps. It's inside the 15, taken down at the 14. And the Gamecocks will use their second timeout of the half. Stop the clock at 35 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, if I'm Jacksonville State, I think I look for DeAndre Johnson again, try to give him another one-on-one battle, chance to go up and catch a touchdown pass or even get him back on the slant. But I think Georgia Southern's definitely selling out to stop this run right here.
A lot of options the Gamecocks can go with. There's already been one touchdown reception from Brock Rexsteiner. We saw DeAndre Johnson at 6'8". You mentioned throwing one over the top for one of your receivers to get it. Do you go with Johnson if you're Wimsatt and the Gamecocks?
I think if you're going to go for it, I will throw it to Johnson. I think he's feeling a little rhythm, getting the one-on-one coverage. And again, Georgia Southern's starting to stick their nose in on the run, trying to stop Cook, which everybody should be. And I would just take my chances out here on the perimeter, see if Johnson can make another catch for me.
Officials will add an additional second on the clock. So 36 seconds to go, 3rd and 6 for Jack State. 3 receivers lined up near side.
Johnson has press man right here, so it should be by itself if they want to throw it to him.
Yeah, one-on-one near side of your screen, lined up with Ja'Cory Brown in front of him. Wimsatt throws near side, has Caleb Coombs, who gets out of bounds. And we'll see where the officials mark this, and it is 1st and goal.
A nice little natural rub route. Johnson kind of runs the slant. Coombs comes out to the flat. I think if he could have held his feet, he might have had a chance to score on that. Georgia Southern called a break.
Nonetheless, Coombs got out of bounds to stop the clock at 31 seconds. From the 5, Wimsatt keeps, slides in, and gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Gamecocks.
Very nice pull read right there by Wimsatt. He's been reading this all night, kind of felt it. He kind of slithers through the hole as he kind of wiggles his hips and gets upfield and finding his way to the end zone. And this was a critical score for them to keep it a one-possession game, or to make it a one-possession game. I think Georgia Southern's on the verge of kind of walking away with this and making them change their game plan. But a nice drive to answer right there.
Caps off an 11-play, 66-yard drive that went just over 2.5 minutes. And more importantly, the Gamecocks get the football to start the second half. PAT, good by Ripa. Jacksonville State finna touchdown, 31-24.
The motion come here, holds the defense just a little bit, and everybody's eyes are on Cook. And just slither through there and find the end zone. Way to protect the ball and fall into the end zone. Nice cut right here, getting upfield. Georgia Southern's trying to pull him out. Wimsatt's a little stronger than he looks, I believe.
Wimsatt gets his second rushing touchdown. I mean, he is someone that has made a lot of improvements in the offseason, transferring from Kentucky. He went to the Manning Passing Academy in the offseason to get better. And we talked with offensive coordinator Clint Trickett about Wimsatt. He said the biggest thing is that he's improved his feet and calmed down from week 1 to week 2, happy with the way he's improved.
Yeah, you can see that this game as well. I think earlier on he kind of missed some throws, but this last drop, you see them make throws. I know they had a drop, but the balls are hitting the receivers where they need to be. When he threw that flat route, got it out front. So I think he's kind of settled down a little bit. And if I'm Jacksonville State, I'm feeling a little bit better about my offense going into halftime as well.
Yeah, he's had a balanced game, 12 of 16, passing 161 yards. The touchdown does have that interception, but on the ground, 8 carries for 40 yards and 2 scores. Another touchback for Georgia Southern. They'll take it out to the 25.
And going back to Wimsatt, I don't even think he threw the ball 16 times at all last week. So for him to be 12 of 16 this week definitely shows you an improvement from week to week.
And not only has he improved with the number of throws, he's made twice as many completions. He was 6 of 12 against Liberty, where the offense came from the running game.
Right, and Trinket said, as you can see, this is what they got to do to make. He makes timely throws, as you saw this drive over and over is critical. And as long as he's efficient on third down, I think they're going to stay in the game.
22 seconds. Eagles out of timeouts. French on the carry to Badinga. Got wrapped up. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe behind it. Emmanuel Oyabadajo on the play.
Yeah, he does a great job crossing face again. Not a TFL, but almost for no gain. It shows you how quick their D-line is right here.
That will take us to halftime. Jack State scores on their last drive to make it a touchdown possession game. 31-24, Georgia Southern. Most points in a half since 2023. A massive upgrade for the Eagles, who didn't even have this many points on the road at Fresno State and Southern Cal.
Right, your offense got to be feeling good about itself going into halftime, and I think they left some points out of there. So as they come out of halftime, I expect them to stay on the gas pedal, keep being explosive. And again, I think going back to the defense, I thought they played well at times. I obviously didn't want to give up a touchdown on the last drive, but they look okay.
What a half for the Eagles, getting the job done on offense, defense, and special teams. Whitney Hayworth is standing by with head coach Clay Helton.
Coach Helton, you told us earlier this week that special teams was going to be the difference maker. You assess Cobb's kick return.
established really good field positions on 3 kick returns, which has helped our offense. You got 2 really good offenses playing right now. They're in rhythm, and really the difference in the game is that 1 kick touchdown. So credit our special teams, Blake Wilson and Dalen Cobb, and play.
When you take a look at your defense and chance out, how can you grade them, and what do you do for them to come out and offense?
Yeah, we've got to get off on 3rd downs. They've been really efficient having those 3rd and 3 to 5s and being good with them. We got the 1 turnover, and that's another reason we're up at halftime. We've got to get drive stops and hopefully plus side of turnovers.
Thanks, Coach.
An electric first half from the offenses in this game, and the one difference that Coach Helton mentioned, the interception and the kick return touchdown from Dalen Cobb. That takes us to halftime. We'll talk first half stats and more after the break. Georgia Southern leading 31-24. Stadium, Georgia Southern a 31-24 lead over Jack State. It was one of many matchups featuring Sun Belt Conference teams this weekend. How about Old Dominion up 28-0 over Virginia Tech at the half, and you got to credit Georgia State up 23-7 over Murray State. Jason.
Yeah, Old Dominion looks like they're on the road going in to beat 28-0. That's a momentum builder for them. And if they hold on for this win, they're going to be on the high horse as they get into conference play.
There are also a couple of Sun Belt teams that had competitive matchups. You look at Arkansas State only losing 24-14. How about Arkansas State getting to host that game? South Alabama, 31-15 loss against Auburn. And Troy hosting Memphis with a 28-7 loss. And Missouri, up and coming in the SEC, 25th ranked in the nation, taking care of business against Louisiana.
Yeah, Missouri has a very good team. If you watch them on tape, they've been pretty solid all year. But going back to the Iowa State, Arkansas State's definitely a closer game than you would expect. And to host Iowa State, I think Arkansas State, like, they put on a very good show and had a chance to win it, it looks like.
I mean, you're seeing more of that where Sun Belt teams are getting to host power conference teams. Hope to see more of that in the future. I'll take us to another commercial break. When we come back, we will remember Freedom the Eagle for Georgia Southern. The Eagles up 31-24 from Paulson Stadium.
Our fans, alumni, students, and community members is what makes Georgia Southern so special. Freedom may have taken the flights, but it was your cheers, your pride, and your belief in what we represented that he gave these moments their meaning.
what you saw was the unveiling yesterday evening of a new statue honoring the late bald eagle mascot in Freedom. Freedom passed away back on Saturday, March 29th, and was an ambassador for Georgia Southern wildlife and as a symbol of our nation, inspired thousands of Georgia Southern fans annually, especially here inside Paulson Stadium. Before games would have the Freedom's flight, where Freedom would fly from the top of the press box down to his handler, Steve Hine, who has been the handler for Freedom for over 20 years. Been a part of the community since 2004 when he was found knocked out of a nest in Maitland, Florida with a permanent injury to his beak. And that was just a staple for Georgia Southern fans over the last 2 decades. Freedom will be missed. University president Dr. Kyle Marrero said that Freedom was more than a mascot. He represented strength, spirit, and unity for Georgia Southern, and his loss will be felt by so many in Eagle Nation. Jason, when you were a player here at Georgia Southern and back when the Freedom's flight tradition began, what was that like for you and the team getting to see him take flight?
It was amazing. I mean, in 2004 when we first got Freedom, I remember coming out and getting him ready for flight and seeing him go around the stadium from the press box down. It was a magical feeling that as you see him soar through the air, and it's kind of inspiring you, inspiring the fans, and it got everybody revved up for the game. So Freedom is definitely going to be missed by all the Georgia Southern Eagle and Georgia Southern fans here.
And Steve Hine, Freedom's handler for 21 years, when he was asked about the statue, he was there in attendance. He said, it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you did something over those 21 years, and he's very proud of it and very touched by the statue being revealed. Whitney, what was Freedom like to you, getting to see his ascent on Freedom's flight and his impact with Georgia Southern?
Well, as many of us would say, it's one of the best, one of the coolest traditions in college football, right? I think a lot of people often would place bets on Freedom and how quickly he might fly to his handler, Steve, or how long he might take a flight around the stadium. And I can't blame him when he might have taken a longer flight to take in the sights and sounds. So it was definitely a sad time this spring when he passed away, and I had a chance to attend the statue unveiling yesterday afternoon, and it was really neat to hear who all was involved, and not only the making of the statue, but just the making and the grooming, if you will, of Freedom to get him to the point that he could fly and that he could be around 20,000 plus people. So very, very neat, Danny. Sad that he is no longer with us.
Yeah, but with the statue now unveiled, it's at the Bishop entrance, so fans can pay honor and tribute to Freedom the Eagle. We'll talk first half stats and more after the break. Georgia Southern leads 31-24 at halftime. back on ESPN Plus. Georgia Southern a 31-24 lead over the Jack State Gamecocks. Danny Wall, Jason Foster, Whitney Hayworth on sideline. Georgia Southern had 34 points combined in their 2 games on the West Coast. They have 31 in the first half. Everything flowing on all cylinders. Jason, what have you seen that you liked the most from the Eagles?
Yeah, I think they're being efficient. They've been on first down, getting a positive play, no negative plays on first down. And also J.C. French, he's been accurate. Right? He's 8 for 12, not putting the ball in harm's way, and they're able to run the ball once they get into these third and short situations.
A little bit of everything working the Eagles' way, offense, defense, and special teams. And it started with J.C. French scoring with his feet, a rushing touchdown. But Gavin Wimsatt answering right back for Jack State. It was just back and forth, and then you saw special teams get involved with a kick return from Dalen Powell.
Yeah, Wimsatt, he's answered the bell every time. Every time Georgia Southern scores, Jacksonville State comes and answers the bell. But I think right now the main difference is Georgia Southern and the special teams play that's got them up right now. And then obviously the one turnover by Aiden Jackson. But overall, a pretty clean game. It's going to be highly competitive going to the end.
You've seen a balanced attack from Jacksonville State from their side. You see French throwing over the middle to Camden Brown for his 4th touchdown of the year. It's had that heavyweight fight mentality back and forth, and the power of Paulson playing a factor here in Statesboro as well.
Yeah, they're definitely slugging it out with each other. And I think right now Georgia Southern's feeding off the energy of the stadium. State's got to figure out a way to minimize the stadium noise, and I think that's by continuing to run the football.
Second half coming up after the break on ESPN Plus. Eagles lead 31-24. Second half set to be underway inside Paulson Stadium. Georgia Southern a 31-24 lead over Jack State, but the Gamecocks scored a 6-yard run from Gavin Wimsatt, and they get the football to start the second half. Whitney Hayworth. We'll hear from ref on the penalty. The Gamecocks will start from the 35. Whitney Hayworth caught up with Gamecocks head coach Charles Kelly.
I asked Charles Kelly what he wanted to see the defense clean up in the second half to slow down that Georgia Southern offense, and he said, well, first and foremost, we need to clean up our kicking game. Our kicking game gave us terrible field position. But then he said, defensively, I want to see us execute and tackle better. He said that he told the team at halftime that they have played probably their worst game thus far defensively and in the special team side of things. But he said offensively, you saw that momentum build towards the end of the first half. So in this first drive, he hopes to see them move the ball downfield and continue that momentum that they walked into the locker room with.
Cam Cook keeping that momentum going for the Gamecocks, gets a first down. He's tackled across the 45. Ball went out at the end. Redsteiner was able to hang on to it for Jack State.
Look at Cam Cook, his vision right there as he gets upfield, makes a guy miss. Again, another 10-yard gain on first down. I think Georgia Southern has to limit that if they want to keep the lead in this game.
What's interesting about the defensive speech from Coach Kelly, we will have stoppage of play.
The ruling on the field was a recovery, a fumble recovered by the offense for a first down. The previous play is on the video review.
So we saw there at the end Brock Rechsteiner hanging on to the football at the end, so the officials are going to review a potential fumble that was recovered by Jack State. Let's see here again, Jason.
He has the ball high and tight right here. Georgia Southern, you see him coming in, making a punch the ball, and I believe that ball is out. It's definitely out.
Yeah.
Rechsteiner obviously has the awareness to fall on that ball right there to get it, and I believe they will have a first down right here.
See, it was punched out by Dorian Smith. Rechsteiner fell on it. The unique thing about what Coach Kelly said about the defensive coordinator Brian Williams said that last week against Liberty was probably the worst their defense had played, but they came out with the win 34-24, whereas in the opener against UCF,
the field is upheld. First and 10.
It is first and 10 Gamecocks, but against UCF, they lost that game, but Coach Williams said they played better defensively. See how things play out in the second half against the Eagles.
Yeah, I believe in the Liberty game, he didn't like the communication they had going on there, which caused some buzz. I think the UCF game, they just kind of got a little bit out physical toward the end of the game, which kind of made them lose it.
From the 45 on first down. Wimsatt floats it up to Cook, couldn't retrieve the catch.
I like Georgia Southern's deliberate blitz right there, kind of send someone off the edge to speed up Wimsatt's footwork right there, made an errant throw.
Just the fifth incompletion for Wimsatt. We talked about how more efficient he has been in this game in comparison to last week against Liberty. Now 12 of 17 passing. Has 2 rushing touchdowns in this game for the Gamecocks. Coombs in motion, he'll get the jet toss. The touch pass, I should say. Bring up third and short.
Again, a very good play right here. Use the Cook as the lead blocker, get a guy in motion. Kind of out-leverage the defense right there. I think Georgia Southern was kind of late on the motion, need to make sure they're faster. But again, a good pickup on second down, gets them to their third and medium, third and short range where Jacksonville State's been living all night.
Gamecocks 6 of 8 on third downs in the first. Third and 4 from the 45, rather 48. And up the middle, powering through is Cook. First down.
Yeah, Jacksonville State's very deliberate what they're doing right here. Anytime it's third and short, they're handing that ball off to Cook and see if they can just wear on Georgia Southern, especially missing Bullet in the middle. I think that's the game plan they got going forward.
First down, outside run from Cook, has a hole and taken out at about the 30-yard line. Another good gain.
Cook's getting going right here. I like how Jacksonville State's lining up quickly, forcing Georgia Southern to get set and stay base right now. They can't call these intricate blitzes and all this. So they're making Georgia Southern play the way they want to play.
Along with a gain of 14, that puts Cook at 98 yards on the ground tonight on 14 rushing attempts. Was tackled at the end by Justin Myers.
And Georgia Southern still has 2 high safeties. They're going to hand this ball off again.
Rather, Wimstad will keep. He runs up the middle. Forward progress put him in the red zone across the 20. See where the officials mark this ball.
He's slippery. I actually think they had a pass play called right here. Georgia Southern played pretty well, but he's such an athlete, he just made a play.
Wasting no time. Hurry up offense as Cook gets a couple of yards there.
Good strategy. They're just moving the chains. First down after first down. Here's Georgia Southern making a line change right here, trying to slow these guys down.
The Gamecocks were actually short on that run from Wimsatt, so it was Cook that got the first down on 2nd and 1 in the red zone from the 18. The 8th play of the drive. Wimsatt keeps, rolls left, and will run out of bounds at the 11. He had some space to go down the sideline if he wanted to. Instead, he's played it safe.
Yeah, I thought he was going to try to turn it up. Again, it looks like a one-receiver route right here with Pearson on the corner route right here when he pull it out. Yeah, this was a called pass play. He's just making a play with his feet. He's doing a tremendous job moving the chains right here.
Got a gain of 7.
You got DeAndre Johnson up there one-on-one. I wonder if they're going to take a shot right here on 2nd down.
2nd and 3. Instead, a handoff to Lando, and the Eagles defense blew that play up from the get-go.
Yeah, I think Coach Bailey had enough of seeing them hand the ball off, and they just did a mesh charge right there. One for the quarterback, one for the running back, and live with the results.
Redshirt junior MJ Stroud making the play. A loss of 3. 3rd and 6. Lando pushes up the middle. Flag on the play at the end. As of now, the Gamecocks have the first down. We'll see who this will be on.
Third down.
Be on Jack State. False start.
Yeah, I think the receiver is looking back trying to get the signal when he hiked the ball. That's the mesh charge right here.
So instead of a first down for the Gamecocks, it's 3rd and 11.
Again, if I'm Georgia Southern, I'm expecting something safe and something quick. I don't think they're going to throw the ball over 10 yards in the air. Looks like they have communication problems as well.
Play clock at 2. Wimsatt wasn't ready, dropped it, lofts it out to Michael Petway. And Petway got a few yards, but communication issues for the Gamecocks indeed, Jason. They're going to bring up 4th down.
Correct. I saw it on the play before. It seems like the receivers can't hear or not getting the signs from the coordinator, but I think the Paulson crowd's making a difference here.
Kicking team makes their way out. We've already seen Garrison Ripa connect on a field goal for 29 yards.
And I think Georgia Southern has to be happy with that when they get in the red zone trying to hold these guys to a field goal, which hasn't been done much this year.
This one for 33, and he puts it through. And that's a unique thing because between 30 and 39 yards in his career, Ripa has not been as effective, just 2 of 6. Limping on his way to the sideline, but a field goal start for the Gamecocks in the second half. 31-27, Eagles get the ball after the break on ESPN+. Agrippa, a 33-yard field goal to make it 31-27. The Gamecocks scoring on their opening drive. Wanted the touchdown, but some miscommunication in the red zone, forcing the Gamecocks to settle for 3, Jason.
Yeah, that's a big penalty, not a penalty, but a big miscommunication right there, because they had it rolling on all cylinders right there. I think the noise may have gotten to them, and that penalty may cost them the game, because this is like Georgia Southern's going up and down the field with them.
Well, you're actually right. That penalty on 3rd and 6, they got the first down, but a false start brought them back to make it 3rd and 11. That's where you saw the communications issue from the sideline. And then Gamecocks only able to score 3. 11-play drive, 49 yards, took up over 5 minutes. Another touchback, so we'll see J.C. French lead the charge back on the field for Georgia Southern. What a game he's had so far.
Yeah, J.C., he's been accurate with the football, making the throws when he needs to be. He's also using his feet, which we have not seen much of this year, as he's finding the end zone, and I think that's essential for Georgia Southern offense to keep operating.
Whitney Hayworth has more on J.C. French.
You talked earlier about how J.C. Forth is the first quarterback to return for a second season under Coach Clay Helton since arriving in Statesboro, and he has really bought in, not only on the field but off. J.C. in December of 2024 had 19% body fat. Guess what? He got in that offseason, and he is now at July 2025, 12% body fat. I talked with their head conditioning. He said that JC's also increased his vertical jump to 5 inches and goes 21 miles per hour on the catapult. Not only is he working so hard in the film room, but obviously with strength and conditioning and nutrition as well. Coach Heiss said JC came out of that 24 season ready to do what it takes to become elite of his own development and never looked back.
And he's getting things going on this drive for the Eagles. Thanks, Whitney. I mean, you got to appreciate the dedication that French made in the offseason for his body. Eagles running hurry-up offense. French will keep. He'll be short of a first down. That'll bring up 3rd and short. Offensive coordinator Ryan Appling added that, they're asking French to do a lot being a returning quarterback.
Yeah, I think being a returning quarterback, it's only expected that he does a lot, and he's showing his team how it's done. As he goes, his team will follow, and right now I think you see his dedication on the field as he's running the ball more, making more plays, and I think that's all worth his all-season workout and what he's doing in the film room and the weight room.
This is 3rd down and 3 from the 43. French, pocket collapses, gets it out, incomplete. Was intended for Dalen Cobb.
Yeah, I think this is the first internal pressure we've seen from Jacksonville State. I think Talon Carter did a great job of just pushing the pocket back into his face and not allowing French to step into it, because I think Cobb had a little two-way go on the linebacker right there.
So strong stand from the Gamecocks defense. Right out of the gate. Which head coach Charles Kelly talked about wanting to see improve, and he is a defensive-minded coach. Recently being a co-defensive coordinator at Auburn, was also a defensive coordinator with head coach Deion Sanders at Colorado in 23. That'll take us to a media timeout. We'll see how the offense responds for Jack State when we come back on ESPN+. busy weekend in Statesboro as Sunbelt Conference women's soccer kicks off tomorrow just down the road from Paulson Stadium at Bo Pitts Field. Georgia Southern will welcome in the Marshall Thundering Herd. That game can be seen at 1 Eastern on ESPN+. Currently back in Paulson, 31-27 Eagles over the Gamecocks, but Jack State's defense making great stop, and now we'll see how Gavin Wimsatt leads the way after a great game.
Yeah, Gavin, he's controlled the game with his feet, and also he's making timely throws. I think as this game progresses, it's going to be on his shoulders to keep making these game-winning plays, and right now he's delivering.
He has all 3 of the Gamecocks touchdowns, 171 yards in the air, 56 yards on the ground. Jack State starts from the 16. Cam Cook bounces outside, down the sideline, and pushed out by Jakari Brown for a Gamecocks first down. And that puts Cook over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, it looks like they got a feel for it right now. They're rushing back to the line, trying to maximize the number of snaps they're getting, trying to wear down this Georgia Southern defense. For me, I think Georgia Southern has to start blitzing guys on this first down to get them in the second and long situations.
16-yard gain on that first down play. Gamecocks more rushing yards than Georgia Southern so far. Wimsatt keeps and taken down at the 33.
That's a great tackle by Brandon Tyson right there. I thought Wimsatt was about to slip through again for another long game. But Tyson's showing up. He's doing all he can to win this game right here.
It's actually a gain of 1, ball placed at the 32. Under 7 minutes to go in the third. Cook, and he gets tripped up. What a play from MJ Stroud.
Very good play of chasing us down from behind. And you can see Georgia Southern sent the cat blitz that time, sent the corner off the edge, trying to stop this run game. I think they're going to force Gavin to make throws to win this football game.
Loss of 3.
And again, I think Jacksonville State at this area not going to take anything too dangerous, make a nice and easy throw, see if these guys can break a tackle.
They've been able to break a couple throughout the game. 3rd and 12. Wimsatt gets out of pressure. He's going to keep, and now collapsing, and a slew of Eagles surrounds Wimsatt, and the Eagles defense with a 3 and out.
That's a huge stand for Georgia Southern defense after Jacksonville State just drove the ball down the field. They got after the quarterback. I think they switched up the defense a little bit, started bringing a little bit more pressure, trying to get these guys off target and off timing.
Excellent start by both defenses in the quarter.
Georgia Southern's going to bring a little pressure, see if they can get a punt return right here.
Sent deep by Connor Donaghy. And sliding in, fair catch, Peyton Plott. 5:23 to go in the quarter, and now you got some physicality out there, some chippiness between both teams.
These guys want to win. I think the talking has started. Like I said, it's getting very chippy out there, but they got to hold it on. No silly penalties right here to hurt your team.
We're seeing how more controlled this second half has been, where offenses were really setting the tone in the first. See here, blatant grab at the face mask.
Yeah, I don't think he liked what he said to him right there, but you definitely can't grab the face mask. That'll get you a 15-yarder later on in the game.
Either Jaheim Jenkins or Kristen Lando. Nonetheless, the Eagles will have it. Start at the 34-yard line. French throws far side, has Sanders open. Sanders gets the first down.
Great job by French delivering the ball on time, stepping into it, and just hitting them right in the hands. Again, taking what the defense gives you. If they're going to play off coverage, especially on first down, you got to move the chains.
Sanders has to hop off to the sideline after losing his helmet after the play. Gain of 13 from French. 121 yards passing so far tonight. 10 of 15.
French doing a good job of changing the protection right here. I thought he saw a blitz coming, switched it up, see what they go to.
Handoff, bouncing out, Badinga. Ooh, gets out of 2 tackles. Badinga, what force! Powering his way through for extra yards. They're going to say he is short. No, they're going to say he got the first down.
That's a great individual effort with a counter play right here, shaking off one tackle, stepping through another one, and getting upfield to go get the first down. Great job.
What a play from Badinga, the junior from Atlanta. He gets the carry again, and that time only a handful of yards. But you've seen the Eagles running game rotate with their 4 running backs that they have available.
Yeah, that's a nice problem to have with a lot of guys who can do the same thing. So when they're able to rotate these backs and keep them fresh, and also with JC taking some carries, I think Georgia Southern running game will only keep progressing.
Yeah, Clay Helton said it would be running back by committee, but on this drive it's been Badinga, bounces out inside the 20, tackled at the 17.
We got some laundry on the field right there, but again, another great counter play, just punching Jacksonville State in the mouth right here. Let's see if they call this one on.
A penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
I mean, offensive holding. Moving back 10 yards, something you don't want to have when you've been trying to make a drive. Colin Alexander, a redshirt freshman. You see Clay Helton's record when they lose the rushing battle. 10-19.
Yeah, when they win the rushing battle, he's 10-2, and I think they got a chance to win it tonight, even though Cam Cook's having a great game, but Georgia Southern's also running the ball at will.
Play action, French throws over the middle. It's caught by Cobb, but it bounces out for a pick. Chase Alexander, he has room to run. Across midfield and tackled at the 42. The redshirt senior, Alexander, was there at the right moment at the right time.
Yeah, similar to what happened at Jacksonville State early in the game. Receiver catches the ball, and it pops it up, bobbles it in the air. He's at the right place, and then he makes a heck of a return, kind of flipping the fields right here. JC for the small play action. He drops the ball in there on target, on time. Ball pops out. I think they're going to check to see if his knee down, but as he reverses field, a great job by Georgia Southern linemen by hustling and tackling this ball and making Jacksonville State work through here.
My goodness.
They're going to roll with it. Interception. Now Georgia Southern defense has to stand up. And if I'm in Jacksonville State, I think I take a shot on first down right here.
They have it at the 42. Just what a momentum shift for Jack State. Hand off to Cook. Cook tripped up, falling at the 36.
Cook's close. That split zone, he's getting close to breaking one of these things right here.
And it won't be an interception for French. They're going to rule that a fumble that was recovered by Alexander there. So Cobb had the reception, but they ruled a fumble after because it popped out of his hands.
Yeah, he made a football move, got upfield, so I could definitely see it being a fumble.
Ooh. Caleb Coombs bobbling that one, but he hangs on and gets the first down for Jack State.
Yeah, the ball must be wet or slippery out there. They definitely having trouble handling this football tonight.
That's something because it is a beautiful night in Statesboro. Currently 71 degrees. Big cloudy, but perfect football weather in September.
Definitely perfect football weather. You can't ask for a better time to have a kickoff and play a night game. We're going back to Jacksonville State offense right here. I think Georgia Southern just keeps giving these guys a light box. What I mean by that is they have more blockers and runner than you have people to tackle. They're just going to keep pounding this ball away.
Play action, Wimsatt throws. Rex Steiner, it was right there for him. But he couldn't make the catch.
Right, that's a break for Georgia Southern right there. Wimsatt did a good job of escaping pressure. And again, a great route, but he's got to catch the football right there. I think he was looking to get upfield and try to go for a second touchdown.
Probably thought ahead of the catch in that moment.
For sure. He has great hands, as we've seen earlier. I think he's 4 or 5 catches tonight. Unfortunate drop right there, but a break for Georgia Southern.
4 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown.
This formation right here, when they overload one side and just run it out of, has been giving Georgia Southern fits all night. Great job right there on staying outside and getting them to the ground.
Jakari Brown said, no, sir. He has been a crucial figure in the defense for the Eagles.
Yes, Jakari, that's a way to jump on him, wrap around him, get him on the ground, because this guy's a load to take down. Now we got him in 3rd and long situation again. I think Georgia Southern can get themselves off the field here. Jacksonville State's been pretty efficient tonight, 7 for 11 on 3rd down. If they want to win, they got to keep that trend going.
From the 34 on 3rd and 11, Wimsatt, great protection, fires, pass is caught, but taken down quickly by Dorian Smith. The defense able to maintain. We'll see if the Gamecocks go for a field goal here or not.
That's a heck of a play by Dorian Smith right there to come up and drive and make that tackle to limit the yards after the catch. But again, you got to give Jacksonville State line credit. That was a good pass pro. He had 3-4 seconds to go through all his reads. It was a good play by the offense and good play by the defense.
This will be the longest field goal tonight for Ripa. He's hit one from 29 and 33. This one from 48. Play clock winding down. It's a fake. And a floater caught by Ripa, but nowhere near a first down. Turnover on downs from the Eagles defense.
Got a way to be heads up right there on defense. That was a nice call. Nice call played in for a fake. I thought it was a little long for a field goal. They had the numbers they were looking for, just didn't execute it well. And again, Georgia Southern being heads up and alert, chasing that ball down, getting off the field with no points.
And the man on the football was Brendan Harrington, the App State transfer and Eagles captain this year, saving things defensively and on special teams. Eagles will have it from the 27 when we come back on ESPN+. 31-27 Eagles. It has been a defensive-driven third quarter. It has the makings to be another close game to the end. Clay Helton 7-8 in one-score games with the Eagles in this fourth season.
Yeah, I know he's looking to improve on that 7-8 mark right there, and I think they have a chance tonight. The one thing that's not noted is they have a second-year quarterback, so I'm sure he's feeling a little bit more confident in these one-score games now.
That could be the driving factor and the difference maker if the score remains within a touchdown going into the fourth. And this third quarter has blown by where it was been more offense in the first half. Defense really making a stand. Only one score, that being the field goal by Ripa off the first drive for the Gamecocks to start the half.
Yeah, it looks like the defenses both woke up and started making plays like they accustomed to. And I know with Georgia Southern, Coach Bailey's been preaching on tackling the football. And I think we saw the last couple of drives, they've been doing a very good job of getting Cook and Wimside on the ground. And it's for Georgia Southern, unfortunate break where the ball fumbles. But Jacksonville State's doing what they need to do to win the game, keeping them out of the end zone as well.
Well, defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey said straight up, well, actually before that, there's a review on a targeting call. We'll hear from the referee here.
Field review, personal foul, targeting on the defense, number 1. At the distance from where the ball is, 1st and 10.
So Brandon Tyson called for targeting. Let's take a look where it happened. Oh.
Yes. I think it fits all the criteria as targeting. But I believe he thought the guy was going to run the ball, and he's in the action of going to make a tackle because it was full flow, and he didn't have the ball up. So unfortunate for Georgia Southern on that one. That's the key, one of their key guys.
And not only that, since that happened on the fourth down play, the drive continues for Jackson State. We just talked about how the defense have made some plays, but that's going to be a costly mistake for the Eagles and Brandon Tyson.
Yeah, costly, especially for this drive, but also going into the fourth quarter, missing your number 1 guy out here. So if you're Jacksonville State, you definitely got to take advantage of it. And I would probably keep this ball on the ground.
Both teams have been perfect in the red zone. Gamecocks have it at the 14, 30 seconds to go in the quarter. A reverse to Recksteiner. He has room and the block. Touchdown, Jackson State. And for the first time tonight, the Gamecocks have the lead.
Yeah, tremendous call right here with the reverse and then getting out there for the lead block. And Recksteiner obviously dropped the one earlier, so I know he's looking to get in the end zone and atone for that error he just made. But again, had Georgia Southern full flow one direction, flip it to him, bring it back, and he's finding the end zone.
That just goes back to the targeting call on Tyson, who led with the crown of his helmet. And the Gamecocks take advantage of that. PAT good. It is 34-31 Jackson State.
Right, all eyes were on Cook, and as he steps, they just flip it back to him. And again, Wimside with a great block right there, and he's just using his speed and finding that end zone right there.
Second touchdown on the night for the redshirt senior Brock Recksteiner.
Yeah, Jacksonville State lined up with 2 backs, full flow to the left. So as you're Georgia Southern, you think you've been seeing this all night, and you're chasing that football hard, trying to get in on the tackle, and they reverse it to you, and there's no one home to contain the football.
And when you're fighting your way back, you rely on your senior leaders. That's what offensive coordinator Clint Trickett said about Recksteiner. He said, it's a guy that we are leading on with his senior leadership, and he does it right there. And Charles Kelly, you know, what a first season as the head coach for the Gamecocks. Had stops through numerous schools that won national championships. You look at Florida State and Alabama, a couple of examples there.
Yeah, he knows how to win. He's seen it at every level, seen it with all different coaches. And I think it's kind of spilling onto his team, knowing how to win as a part of football. And right now, their team has all the fight in them. I think they were down 14 points at one point, and they pitched a shutout and continue to fight and continue to grind to try to pull out a victory here.
He's also won an FCS championship with Jacksonville State back in the 90s, a full circle moment being the head coach for this program. That ball bounces and retrieved at the 5. Now just across the 20. And more chippiness on the field. It is getting physical late in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Timbers are starting to flare. Everybody's wanting to win, but they got to learn to control their emotions right here. We can't afford a 15-yard penalty to give the other team a jump start.
Jamarian Samuel receiving the kick. Took it 19 yards. The Eagles will start their drive from the 24. Now down by a field goal. French will dump outside. O.J. Arnold spins out of traffic. Able to extend to the 30.
He has some moves right there. Just some joystick work, what he's doing right there. That should have been a tackle for a loss.
Got a player down for Jack State going towards the sideline, but that ends the third quarter, and what a massive shift. Jacksonville State 34-31 over Georgia Southern. Fourth quarter coming up after the break. You don't want to miss it on ESPN+. Senior linebacker Daxon Gallagher was limping in the last play of the third quarter for Jack State, being helped off to the side as the Gamecocks lead 34-31, 3 quarters in.
Yeah, that's a big injury for them. He made a lot of the calls, got them all set up, so we'll see how the communication happens with him being out of the game.
It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 29 to start the fourth for the Eagles. Up the middle run from Jamarian Samuel. What needs to happen for Georgia Southern in this quarter after we've seen the defense really lead the charge in the third?
Right, I think Samuel just showed you right there. They got to be able to punch the ball up inside the tackles right now, because Jacksonville State's lining them up so deep, trying to keep the ball in front, trying to make Georgia Southern work the ball downfield. They just got to be patient and take what they give them. Again, another two-high look right here. Probably going to keep the ball short and in the middle.
Following the 5-yard gain from Samuel, 1st and 10. French gets out of traffic, gets out of a tackle, and dives his way forward to the 39.
Good coverage right there by Jacksonville State, but a good individual effort by JC, getting something positive from a play that probably should have been a loss. Isaac Walker with the pressure again. He's been living in the backfield.
Isaac Walker can be such a difference maker on the outside linebackers. He either help line up in a 3-down front in the back at linebacker, or him up front in the 4-down front. You're just seeing right now, 2nd down, French throws, find Marcus Sanders, tackled at the 49, and he gets the 1st down.
Good, nice little easy pitch and catch, another spot route that you guys missed earlier on in the game. Again, Jaheim Jenkins come in, makes a big hit on him, trying to jar that ball loose. Nice job holding on to it.
The Eagles continuing their hurry-up offense. Following the gain of 11. But that time, the play broken up, and Isaac Walker was there.
Again, Walker's all over the place. I think they need to get their eyes open, see where he's lining up at, and probably run the other way. But also, if I'm Georgia Southern, I think I got to look for Camden Brown to make a play. He's kind of been quiet since the touchdown catch. Not sure if he even has a target at this point. But they got to find a way to get this ball outside.
Yeah, Brown just 2 receptions for 33 yards in this game. No gain from Arnold on 1st down, 2nd and 10. French all day to throw deep and out of the hands of Dalen Cobb. But one thing, as you mentioned, Jason, you had Camden Brown downfield as a potential deep ball threat.
Yeah, I think they just kind of got spooked because he saw the guy on top of him, and they had it covered pretty well, so he tried to come back underneath through the deep stop route and just kind of threw it a little high and missed. But Jacksonville State's kind of got their antennas up for the playmakers as well. But now they got press coverage on them on 3rd and 10, which I don't know if I would press them right here, but if I'm Georgia Southern, I may take another shot at it.
French back to pass on 3rd down, goes deep, and has an open man in Cobb. If at first you don't succeed, you pick yourself up and try again. Cobb gets the 1st down for the Eagles.
And this is a nicely run route as he kind of gets the DB hips flip as he's pushing off the ball. He sticks that foot in the ground, the ball's out. That's a very nice throw on a deep out.
23-yard reception from Cobb. 1st down from the 28. French one-on-one, far side to Brown. Incomplete. Coverage by Tyron Taylor there.
Very good coverage, but I like the shot they took right there. I think Brown kind of trips up as he's about to try to get his jump in. Yeah, he kind of trips up a little bit, but a way to take the shot, try to keep these guys deep. And this should open up for the run game here.
O.J. Arnold in at running back. Now empty backfield in motion. Touch pass to Cobb. Gets to the 25. Going to be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that's a different wrinkle Georgia Southern hasn't showed all night with JC on the run, trying to scoop it underneath. I think they were just seeing if they can hit one out the back door right there. I think they're in the fringe. They're in field goal range, so nothing. I wouldn't throw anything too crazy right here. Try to keep yourself from getting points. Maybe go back to the spot routes they thrown earlier.
Well, a play like that worked for the Gamecocks, and Brock Recksteiner tried to get one of their own. It just did not work. And they gain of 3. 3rd and 7. French scrambles, throws. Cobb couldn't hang on, incomplete.
Good job by Jacksonville State. Again, they're staying deep. They're going to make Georgia Southern work this ball downfield, giving them nothing deep. I don't think they gave them but one deep pass all night. Yeah, the points have slowed down, obviously, and that's because the defense have been coached up to know what they're doing, trying to hold these guys to a field goal right here on a long attempt.
That is a staggering difference. Just 7 points in the second half. They have yet to score tonight in the second, but has a chance to tie it up 42-yard field goal attempt from Trip Bryant. Hit his first career field goal earlier and nails it the second time around. Tied at 34 with over 11 minutes to go in the game. More to come after the break on ESPN+.
Paulson Stadium, Jacksonville State bringing the momentum in the second half, in large part thanks to offensive coordinator Clint Trickett and his play calls. Danny spoke earlier so much about what the impact that he has had, not on just Jacksonville State, but also last year for Georgia Southern. The Trickett family, a well-known name in the college football landscape. His dad, the offensive line coach, one of the best offensive line coach, of course, as Coach Clint Trickett would say. But he said, you know, it was so fun to listen to all of the stories that they shared with us, and it was so special this past year for Clint Trickett to be at Georgia Southern. He has so much respect for this staff, as we mentioned earlier, as Coach Housewright does. The Trickett family welcomed their firstborn son just last December. Jamison was born in December, right before Georgia Southern left for the New Orleans Bowl. And then just a mere few days later, after that bowl game, Clint Trickett was named the offensive coordinator. And Charles Kelly wouldn't have had it any other way, nor would Clint Trickett, to now be at Jacksonville State with his dad.
The legacy continued with the Trickett family. Thanks, Whitney. And Clint Trickett, offensive coordinator, has to be pleased with the way the offense was able to get back in rhythm second half. And then we haven't shown much love to the offensive line led by the O-line coach, Rick Trickett. But just what a stand they've been able to do. First down, Cook bounces out down the sideline. Gamecock started at the 19 on the return. Second and medium.
Yeah, good opening run right there by Cam Cook. Again, offensive line just zone blocking, reaching and climbing, and they're just finding the yards right here, trying to pound away at Georgia Southern.
Expect to see Cam Cook heavily involved throughout the rest of this game. Part of the 200-plus rushing yards for the Gamecocks tonight. He has 121, gets another carry, and will lose a yard. Make it 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
Now you got a man down for the Gamecocks, holding his left knee. That is
50, I think. 50.
And that is Lucas Mroczkowski, the redshirt freshman. And he's one of the driving forces of that offensive line. And we're just talking about how well the O-line has been blocking for Cam Cook, along with Gavin Wimsatt. And that is a tough sight to see if you're a Gamecocks fan.
Yeah, anytime losing your center again, they're making all the calls and all the connections to get the O-line right. And to see him go down is a big blow.
We're going to take a break here and be right back on ESPN Plus, tied at 34 with 10:34 to play in the game. On ESPN Plus, Lucas Mroczkowski, the redshirt freshman center, currently in the medical tent. We also get a look at Daxton Gallagher right there, the senior linebacker. Whitney Hayworth has an injury update on Gallagher.
Danny, I about have as much of an injury update as you do. You can tell that he's got a brace on his right leg. He is devastated. He is in tears, but we have no official word. We can only assume that he will not return in this game. We certainly hope quick healing, and we'll stand by to see if we can get an update on Jacksonville State's center in just a moment.
Thanks, Whitney. Play will continue. 10:34 in the fourth, tied at 34. It has been a physical matchup inside Paulson for the Eagles' home opener.
Yeah, it's been a very physical game. Both teams have been able to run the football, kind of do what they want to do on offense. Then in the second half, you see the defense come back and answer and making these big hits and get these guys on the ground. So it's going to be a fight to the finish right here.
3rd and 8 from the 21-yard line.
A lot of communication going on right here.
Yeah, Wimsatt directing things. Play clock winding down. Wimsatt gets out of trouble. Rolls right and throws. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Franklin Barrett Jr. Jakari Brown, once again, firing up the Eagles defense. He has been everywhere for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Jakari, he just keeps showing up on film, making play after play. Right there, sticky coverage on him. But Wimsatt getting out of the pocket, it's hard to stay with your guy, but he did a good job keeping him in front, making a play on the football.
Donaghy back to punt. Peyton Plott back to receive. Fair catch called, and that takes an Eagles bounce. A flag is thrown right as the ball came down.
Yeah, very, very short kick, but I think they're going to get 10 yards tacked onto it from holding on the Eagles right here.
during the kick, holding on number 20 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
That is also holding on Jakari Brown.
I think that's a fatigue penalty right there. Kind of let the guy get off and just really just grabbed him for no reason, especially on a short kick. Kind of gave yourself up 10 yards.
Oh, it's a punt that bounced back in the Eagles' favor across midfield.
I think for Georgia Southern, they got to figure out some kind of way to push the ball downfield, especially on 1st down. Jacksonville State's lined up so deep trying to keep the ball in front, but Georgia Southern needs to get creative right here on offense.
10 minutes to go, tied at 34. A couple of updates. Brandon Tyson was ejected for targeting. We've seen how Jack State outscored the Eagles 10-0 in the 3rd quarter to take the lead. Trent Bryant hitting a new career-long 43-yard field goal to tie this game at 34, but the run game once again has been the story tonight, just over 200 yards for Jack State.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville State's doing a great job running the football, but Georgia Southern's not doing bad on defense with a lot of carry.
And the carry by O.J. Arnold inside the 35 and tackled inside the 30. A big play from Arnold to start this Eagles drive.
Excellent zone play right here. As you see, Arnold can catch the ball. Again, when he turns upfield, puts his shoulders down, he's off to the races. A big play with Georgia Southern need to open the drive, especially on the 1st down play. They pull both guards, or pull the guard in the center coming around, and he's upfield. Nice job.
Tackled at the end by Caleb Nix. Now at the 24. A big gain from the senior running back Arnold. He'll get it again. That time, about the same kind of play, an outside zone run. Jack State's defense was ready for it.
Yeah, they try to sneak another one in there, but Jack State, like you said, they're ready for it. They were sitting in on that one. Again, going to force Georgia Southern to get back to what they're doing and throwing that football. And hopefully J.C. French can make some throws in these tight areas as the field shrinks down.
Minimal gain, just 1 yard. Eight and a half minutes to go. Up the middle, Arnold. About 2 or 3 there. 3rd and medium.
Yeah, nice, tough run, but I think Jacksonville State's trying to answer the bell right now. Basically going to say you guys are going to have to put this ball in the air, not giving up any more big runs. For Georgia Southern, again, you're in field goal range. I think you play it safe. If you don't get it, you take the lead, but you're looking for something quick hitting over the middle, letting your guys run.
5 of 9 on 3rd downs. Another 1 yard gain, 3rd and 8. French, quick throw to Cobb. Cobb gets the 1st down inside the 15. Another player down for Jack State. See Aiden Thompson currently down for the Gamecocks, but what a play from Cobb.
That's definitely a bad injury for Jacksonville State with obviously Gallagher being out, then his backup Aiden Thompson being down. They're going to have to go into the depth chart to find someone else to come in there. Hopefully it's not too serious. But you see him raising his hand, already in pain.
So we're going to take a media break here at 7:41 as the training staff checks on Thompson. Another linebacker down for the Gamecocks, this time Aiden Thompson, the sophomore. We had already seen Daxton Gallagher on the sideline. He has yet to return. And Thompson was Gallagher's backup on the 2-deep chart. So now the Gamecocks have to go deeper through for that next man up in the linebacker spot.
It looks like they put in Max Sanders. Like I said, is definitely the next man up, and your opportunity arises, you got to capitalize on it.
Weston Bryant in at quarterback on 1st and 10 from the 13 for Georgia Southern. Eagles in the red zone. Bryant keeps, flag on the play. He'll get inside the 10, tackled at the 8, but that may be coming back.
Sides, defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Rather is going to go on Jack State and Tay Floyd offsides. Brian's going to stay on the field.
I like Brian to me when he runs the ball, he's downhill and he's going to get those yards. He's definitely going to test the linebacker core for Jacksonville State when he gets the ball.
1st and 5 from the 8.
They may be able to pull out a little pop pass right here, the way how close Jacksonville State is.
Brian will keep running near side. Tackled at the 6.
Nice tough run again. Now you got it second and 2, 2nd and 3. Now you got the option to either run the ball or do a quick pass off the play action right here. So Georgia Southern has all the options open. They need to make sure they get 7 out of this drive.
Brian a gain of 2. French back in at quarterback. Approaching 6.5 minutes, tied at 34. Hand off to Arnold. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern just hands this ball off, keeps it inside, going to test the linebacker core like we spoke about earlier of Jacksonville State. And again, you watch the center right here do a good job of climbing and pinning. OJ has very good vision and find his way into this end zone.
Arnold making big plays throughout this drive for the Eagles to put them back ahead. Now with 12 carries, 102 yards, and his second rushing touchdown on the night. A 6-yarder to cap off a 6-play, 65-yard drive. PAT is good, 41-34, Eagles over the Gamecocks.
Watch Chandler right here, they hook the nose. It's pretty much a walk-in at this point. But a great job at the point attack. And LJ getting up on the linebacker, very good vision, hopping in through the end zone.
Remember, Arnold started this drive with a 41-yard rush to put the Eagles in prime position. He had 4 carries in that 6-play drive, capping off with a second touchdown.
Right, I think Georgia Southern's kind of figured out something as far as running this football and see that as long as Jacksonville State is staying back, they're going to have to force this ball downhill and control the line of scrimmage, which they've been doing on this last drive.
Second career 100-yard rushing game for the senior. In a game that has mainly been running back by committee, but going to Arnold in the 4th quarter, making some big plays, putting the Eagles up by a touchdown.
Yeah, I think the more carries you give a running back, the better feel he has. And that's why you're seeing these longer runs come.
Fair catch was called, and Gamecocks will start from the 25. So we don't know. Well, actually, just saw there in the huddle with Clint Trickett, center Lucas Mrachkowski is in the huddle. That is a good sign for Jack State. What's going to be the biggest difference and adjustments for Jack State's offense?
I think they have a new quarterback in as well, don't they?
Indeed they do. This is Caden Creel, the redshirt sophomore. On first down, he will keep up the middle, shifts his way for a first down, tackled at the 38, 39-yard line. What a change here in the fourth quarter, going from Wimsatt to Creel.
Yeah, definitely a great change. I mean, he did the same play. They did a quarterback draw. He looked pretty much just like Gavin right there. Nice wrinkle. I think it caught Georgia Southern off guard, just kind of like it caught us off guard.
Same way it caught the Gamecocks off guard. Weston Bryan came in for J.C. French. Wimsatt back out. He will keep multiple flags on the play.
Great job by Brendan Harrington stringing that out as well.
Illegal formation, offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Legal formation from Jack State. Too many players in the backfield.
I'm only seeing 4, so I'm not sure where that penalty come from. But they call it great. Again, Georgia Southern needs to capitalize off this right here. They got them at first and long. It's not a situation that Jacksonville State is comfortable being in.
Wimsatt, handoff, and it's Creel, and he gets taken down. It looked like a trick play was going to be set up for Creel to throw it deep, but the Eagles were ready.
Yeah, they definitely had a trick play lined up. As you see when he comes across, takes the handoff. Georgia Southern stays deep, and great pressure right there by Georgia Southern coming up and forcing this ball to try to get this ball off quickly.
Holden Trice was the first man there for the Eagles defensively. That's a loss of 4. 2nd and 19, 5 minutes to go in the game.
Jacksonville State has to be very careful right here.
Creel is still on the field. They'll throw to him. He wants to throw it. Instead, will keep. He gets out of traffic, flips the field, gets a block from Wimsatt, but Harrington on the tackle. How about Jack State trying to go with some trick plays with Creel here, but Georgia Southern was ready again.
Yeah, I think they've getting to notice when he's on the field, something's tricky coming when you got 2 quarterbacks. But I tell you what, Creel definitely pretty athletic right there with the cutback, and getting upfield and showing off his wheels right here. But again, Georgia Southern does a good job pursuing the football and just getting them on the ground, which Coach Bailey wanted them to do this game.
Got those 4 yards back that he lost on first down. 3rd and 15 from the 33. Pressure. Wimsatt gets it out. Incomplete. Dorian Smith was there on the intended pass to Caleb Coombs.
Great job by running the hump right there by Jacob Ferguson and getting a little pressure on Wimsatt. I'm sure he felt it as he got to the back of his drop. And again, sticky coverage by Georgia Southern, forcing the punt right here.
The clock stops at 3:57. Gamecocks will punt, but both teams have all 3 of their timeouts. A difference maker that we saw compared in the first half, where the Eagles used all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter. Peyton Plott calls for a fair catch at the 26. So you have under 4 minutes to go. You have all 3 of your timeouts. What's going to be the strategy for the Eagles to take this game home?
Obviously, they want to run the football, but they got to have a good drive starter right here. If you're going to throw the ball, I would throw the spot route they've been throwing to get a quick completion, get 6 or 7 yards, and get them to a manageable second down. If it starts off 2nd and 10, then I think you'll see Jacksonville State start using their timeouts early.
(41-34) in the Eagles' home opener. J.C. French, 195 yards passing, 23 yards on the ground, but 2 touchdowns overall, 1 in the air and 1 on the ground.
Right. And then with O.J. Arnold being such a hot running back right now, you can give him carries and see if he can break one again.
Arnold in the backfield. He'll get the ball on first. Breaks through, gets a couple of yards.
That's a nice drive starter. Now you got it 2nd and medium. You can kind of sit on the clock right here a little bit. Jacksonville State doesn't want to call a timeout so early because they did pick up 5 yards. So I wouldn't hike the ball again until you get under 5 seconds on the play clock.
13th carry for Arnold. Gain of 4. Eagles taking their time. Play clock at 10. We'll let it go all the way down the 1 before the snap. French will keep and slides at the very end for a first down.
J.C. French is doing what he needs to do to win the football game right here. It kind of reminds you of the King from Georgia Tech, when every time they need a play, he's going to make it. Right here, he sticks the ball into the running back's chest, lets him close, and goes and gets that first down and gets down without getting hit.
How about that game for Georgia Tech, getting the win over Clemson as time expired, a 55-yard field goal. Look at French here.
Right, the end closes, he gets upfield. J.C. has a lot of speed on him, and I think his offseason workouts can attribute to that.
Just growing as a leader. As we mentioned, the only returning quarterback under Clay Helton with Southern. The clock goes all the way down and expires. Georgia Southern will use their first timeout. Clock stops at 2:16.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't think the ball goes into the air unless it's third down. You're going to force Jacksonville State to use a 2-minute timeout and also use one of their timeouts.
Charles Kelly, a defensive-minded coach. What's going to be the focus here in these final moments?
Right now he wants to have a good first down play. If you get these guys a second and long, then I probably use the timeout before the 2-minute warning and make Georgia Southern run 2 plays on this side. But again, reading your keys, closing on the football and making the tackle. Right now is not time to strip the ball out when you have all your timeouts in your pocket.
This would be a much-needed win for the Eagles after going out on the West Coast, unsuccessful against Fresno State and Southern Cal. Be 1st and 10 from the 43.
Jacksonville State still keeping the safeties deep, so I expect this ball to be handed off again. And there
Arnold,
he
there he goes, spins at the 45, is sent down. What a big gain. Another first down for the Eagles. Clock's going to stop at 2:09. Gamecocks will use their first timeout.
Good timeout call, but I think at this point you got to force Georgia Southern to throw the football. There's no need to have the safeties that deep. When OJ's, he's starting to feel it and think he's ripped off a 10-yard run, a 40-yard run, 7 and 8. So I think if you got to show your hand early and just make Georgia Southern do something different.
Both O.J. Arnold and Cam Cook for Jack State each have 120 rushing yards. The difference is Arnold has done it with 7 less carries and 2 more rushing touchdowns.
Correct. I think Georgia Southern, they sold out to stop the run today. Cam Cook still got his yards, but when they got in the red zone, they made someone else beat them, and right now it's working for them.
Student section still enjoying themselves here for the Eagles home opener. Georgia Southern will stay at home next week against Maine. 45, Arnold to carry. Push to the 40. A gain of 5, and that will take us to our 2-minute timeout. The Eagles leading 41-34. Can they hang on and get their first win of the season? Find out after the break on ESPN+. 2 minutes to go in the game. Georgia Southern a 41-34 lead over Jax State, and just a yard better than the Gamecocks in the running game, and you see Clay Helton's record when he wins the rush battle.
Yeah, I think he's definitely looking to rush the ball a little bit more right here and kind of widen that margin and picked up this victory.
125 of those yards have come from O.J. Arnold. He'll get the carry, and he will push, trying for the first down. And it appears that he will
Jacksonville
be
State
short.
This is the second time out of the second half.
Their second
30
timeout.
seconds. Please reset the
Georgia
game
Southern
clock
tried
to
to slip a
154.
counter play in behind them, but Jacksonville State did a good job of swarming to the football and covering this up. But again, we got a big play right here. If I'm Georgia Southern, I think I'm handing the ball off one more time, see if we can break it. If you break a run right here for a first down, I think the ball game's essentially over.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 2, and Arnold's been feeling it since the last drive, really taking this game over in the running game for the Eagles. And you also could expect the Eagles to bring in Weston Bryant, bringing that big power back with that wild. I don't even know. He's looked like the Tim Tebow kind of quarterback at 6'3", 250. He's powered his way through for minimal yards throughout this game.
Yeah, he definitely gives you that +1 in the run game. I believe we see him right here too. So
Yeah.
Georgia Southern's thinking like you're thinking. We're going to get a +1 on the run game, see if we can fall forward for 2 yards and knee this game out.
O.J. Arnold also on the sideline. Jamarian Samuel in at running back next to Weston Bryant.
I think they're going to base block and power up through here to see if we can get the first down.
3rd and 2. Bryan keeps, and he gets the first down. Firing up this Eagles crowd in Paulson. A big play from the freshman.
Yeah, that's just a power run right there. I think Jacksonville State met him. Probably short of the first down, but he puts his legs, puts his head down, keeps turning, puts the hand down, shows off his balance, and goes and gets the first down, essentially winning the game for Georgia Southern.
That will likely seal the deal. Gamecocks do have a timeout left, with the clock ticking and 90 seconds left. Burns will let the clock go down. The Eagles will use their second timeout. I mean, this is a game where your backs were against the wall, coming back from California, winless, moving against Fresno State and Southern Cal. Entering this game, had a number of injuries and players unavailable. Josh Dallas out for this game offensively. Chance Gamble out defensively. And you go to different players to help yourself. And from the opening drive, Georgia Southern was in command. It was a back-and-forth battle in the first half. Defense stood tall in the second, but O.J. Arnold in the fourth quarter was the difference maker for the Eagles.
Right, I think it shows you the grit of what Georgia Southern has right here. Again, didn't play well on the West Coast trip, come home, get up early, essentially had control of the game. Jacksonville State comes back, takes the lead, but then you see Georgia Southern fight all the way back, claw, come up by 7, and like you said, O.J. Arnold started feeling it with his running ability, trying to essentially put this game away.
Another difference maker, the power of Paulson. Georgia Southern, top 5 home winning percentage in all of college football. You see some really good teams on that list. Alabama leading the charge. They beat Wisconsin earlier at home.
Yeah, they finally got themselves back on track, but home winning percentage is a very impressive stat no matter what team it is. To come in and win 81% of your games throughout the career of Georgia Southern is just a It's just impressive and shows how much the crowd makes a difference in the game.
The Eagles lining up in victory formation.
I think the best formation in football right here. Georgia Southern's proud to get into this formation tonight.
Step in the right direction for the Eagles. As French will take a knee, and that will do it. Lost to Fresno State, lost to Southern Cal, returns home to the prettiest little stadium in America in a gritty fight from start to finish, and the Eagles will come out on top 41-34 over Jack State.
That's a big rebound for Georgia Southern. And for the program, again, I don't think they had started 0-3 since 2017. And definitely didn't want to be the team to start 0-3. So they found a way and fought hard to get their first victory. And I think it's going to carry over into the next game. They can keep it rolling. With a 200-yard rush game, look for them to run the ball more next week as well.
Clock strikes 0, and the lights flash in Paulson. A much-needed win for the Eagles, getting in the win column, and most importantly, they go 1-0 for the week.
Yeah, that's the most important stat. You've got to play it week to week. You can't look ahead to next week. And I'm sure Coach Helton preaches on winning that one game that 1 week. So 1-0, the next week they're going to try to go 1-0 again.
Big turnaround in the running game. Average 113 yards in those two West Coast matchups, but 219 yards tonight, led by the senior O.J. Arnold, 16 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. He scored the go-ahead touchdown for the Eagles in the fourth.
Yeah, O.J., he had a very, very good night, but I also think you got to give credit to J.C. French. He ran the ball when they needed to run the ball, kept the chains moving, 3rd and short. You didn't know if he was going to pass it, throw it, or hand it off, and I think with his added dimension to the game, it'll be just that much better for Georgia Southern going forward in their run game.
French managed his game exceptionally well. 16 of 24, 191 yards, a touchdown. Did have the fumble. That was from Dalen Cobb. We thought was a pick, well, the fumble instead. But also, French got this game started with his feet. I mean, 9 carries, 33 yards, and he scored the first touchdown on the Eagles' opening drive.
Right, yeah, he put the team on his shoulders again with the rushing touchdown, and he made good throws all night. Didn't force the ball. Again, I don't think interception-free. I thought he did what he needed to do to win the game, and this shows you what a second-year quarterback does in that offense.
Targeted 7 different receivers. Dalen Cobb leading the way, 6 catches, 70 yards. Camden Brown has the lone receiving touchdown, his 4th on the year, but all smiles from Eagle Nation, getting their first win of the year.
Yeah, spreading the ball out.
Whitney Hayworth is standing by for player of the game, O.J. Arnold.
O.J., Coach Helton told me earlier this week that the important part of this game would be the rush game. 2 touchdowns for you on the night. How important was it to get in the end zone twice, but also just to get the win?
It's very important. This is the running back room first time getting in the end zone, so it felt great. And getting that rushing attack going, it really helps the offense. So it's great to have that rushing attack going on.
You've waited for moments like this, obviously following in the footsteps of someone like Jalen White. But when you look about the room in general, now you've got a 1-2 punch, a 3-4 punch, as Coach Applin talks about. So how important is it for the locker room, and specifically the running back room, to work so well together?
It's great. We all love each other, and we play together. So it's all easy to just do when we all love each other.
Coming back to Statesboro, Georgia, after going 0-2 in California, how important was the power of Paul? How special was it to be back home?
The energy was amazing. Every big play, you could hear the fans roaring, and it was just amazing. We'd love to be back here.
OJ, congrats on the win. Go sing that alma mater.
Thank you.
No rushing touchdowns on the road. 3 in total for the Eagles tonight. And Georgia Southern in the win column, 1-2 on the year. Jack State drops to 1-2. They will return home and get ready for their homecoming game against Murray State. Georgia Southern will remain in Statesboro and get ready for Maine next Saturday. So for Jason Foster and Whitney Hayworth, I'm Danny Wallace saying so long from Paulson Stadium. Final score, Georgia Southern 41, Jack State 34. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.